What is
I don't know. I got no hockey. I got no basketball.
no golf?
No golf.
What are they doing in sports right now? Like, why do we?
I don't know.
You know what we
I
need?
got the dumper, I guess, maybe.
Hey, that was nice.
Yeah.
Are you
Well,
metting a walk-off grand slam?
That's the White Sox. I asked before the show. I still don't know if the Mariners are any good, but hey,
they won 11 of 15.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
They're the exact same as they were last year. They
Yes.
just play in a worse division.
Well, they were good last year.
Yeah.
You know what their last 3 walk-offs have in common?
Cavalry.
Bark at the park night. Dogs in the house.
Really?
Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah. They do a lot of those, do they?
I guess so.
Hey, big dumper. You're right. I don't mean to poo-poo. It's a grand slam, for God's sake.
That was cool.
It's a grand slam.
And they were down 4-0.
I know.
If you guys didn't see it, which you probably didn't.
No, because it's the White Sox.
Are you out of your mind?
They were down 4-0. They scored 4 in the 8th, and then a walk-off grand slam in the 9th.
Well, I was watching hockey, which is just depressing now. I've got no series in the NBA. I hate both of those teams. There's only one team in hockey that I'm rooting for, and they stink and can't score a goal. It's very depressing right now.
I do think that the NBA series is pretty lame.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't be saying that if it were 1-1.
But it's not. It's
But it's
2-0.
not.
And now we find out that Luka is has to get injections in his back. So his old ass is dragging around.
We got nothing. You know what we need? Here's what we need. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Where is the NFL?
We got Aaron Rodgers stuff today, I guess.
That's not even news.
That's
That's another thing.
I got Ayuk news. I got Rodgers. I think that's stupid.
Let me say something about this.
Okay.
Can I say something?
You can. It's your show.
Yeah. Well, it's our show.
Our show, but you have the conch, so you can say whatever the hell you want.
The NFL, they should right now all suit up and play football games for us. We deserve it.
Yeah, we need something.
Yeah, we need exactly.
Man, what do
so
you...
let's you're mini camping.
Yeah, just go. Yeah.
Let's play.
Yeah.
Put a point spread out there for us.
Do it. Let's have joint practices, and it doesn't matter, but put a point spread out there. Guys will get competitive.
Come on.
And away you go.
You know how, and this of course is tongue in cheek, is I'm hoping that you people know that. But you know how many people would watch that?
A lot.
Because there's nothing right now.
Well, I was driving in today and I was flipping through and I heard an interview with Wade Phillips.
Oh.
You familiar with Wade Phillips?
Yeah.
Who's like 80 years old, by the way. And that's how I learned that whatever that horse crap XFU Niner 462 CP3PO football league, apparently their championship is this weekend. I had no idea.
Yeah, see, that's not cutting it.
No, it's not. But apparently Wade Phillips is in it. He's the coach of the I don't know where they're from, but it's the Rocks team. They're the Brahmas.
I like Wade Phillips. I always have.
I saw one clip of him this year, and a sideline reporter was asking him coming out of the half essentially why he managed or mismanaged the clock the way that he did or didn't use timeouts. And Wade looks at him and goes, "What?" and he's like, and he asked the same question again. He goes, "I don't need to answer that," and he just walks off.
I love that when it's like the Mike Riley
like
thing, Wade Phillips. Like you can be 80 years old and that crappy league will just hire you because you have a name and you don't have to give a rip. They probably make like $500,000 and they don't have to do squat. No one cares. No one's watching.
No pressure.
No pressure. He just what? He said, "Where's Jerry Glanville when I need him?" What? Just get Jerry Glanville out there.
He's at a college.
Is he?
Yeah. Didn't we talk about him recently?
I don't think so.
I think we did.
And he's coaching somewhere?
Yeah, I think he's at a small college, some small Christian college.
Oh, you know what? I do remember that.
Isn't he?
Yeah, and we looked it up and like they've had a football team for like 1 year or something.
He is the defensive coordinator of Northwestern Oklahoma State University.
Boom. Yeah. And
boom.
We had to look up who the hell they were. And it's like they've been in existence for like 2 years. It's like, here comes Jerry Glanville.
No, but on the NFL tip, yo.
Yeah.
The mini camps, we are so starved for football news that this time of year with the mini camps, and I love the NFL. I consume all things NFL. I love it. Watch it religiously.
Yeah.
But even it is getting absurd with the mini camp non-news.
It's pretty ridiculous.
It's not pretty ridiculous.
Today
it's over the top absurd.
I saw a major headline today on Pro Football Talk that said,
which one is it? Because there were 5.
Sean Payton sets no timeline for picking a quarterback. That was their lead story like 3 hours ago. So the headline is, we don't have a quarterback and I'm not picking one anytime soon. Monster headline, monster.
Well, the Rodgers story is making headlines, and that's kind of stupid, although Robert Saleh...
Yeah, he seemed to be a little pissy about it.
Yeah, he didn't like it, but is that a huge deal that it's some guy... I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers. He's got some event he committed to.
The only thing is that he came out not too long ago and said that they need to get rid of any bull roar.
That's exactly right.
You can't go out and say that there's any bull S that doesn't have to do with football. Get it out of here. And
Get
then
it out of this building.
And then miss the first day of the only mandatory thing that you've had so far, and you blow it off to go hang out with RFK. Like that, you know.
Yeah,
is that what he's doing?
He spouted off about distractions and focus, and now he's not showing up.
Was this the first... Wait, I have questions.
Yeah.
Was this the first day?
Today was the first day of mandatory camp.
Okay, and then is that what he's doing? He's with RFK?
He's just said it's an event that's very important to him. And what I heard from one of the I think it was Chris Sims that had it, said that it will eventually come out because obviously people are going to know where he's at. But he said it was a political event. So put 2 and 2 together. It's a political event. It's very important to him.
Man.
You know, RFK was out there wheezing his way through something. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers wanted to be there, but you can't come out and be like, non-football stuff doesn't... Get it out of here, and then miss the first day.
Okay.
You look like a douche.
Well, he is a douche.
That's a valid point.
So it's on brand for him, but I just don't... Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. I just don't think this is a big deal. Like, if anything else were going on in sports at all, this would not be a thing. No. But because it's Aaron Rodgers and he's kind of his own worst enemy on things like this, we're going, it's developing story. What is developing?
On ESPN right now, they're doing a special cutaway with a thing that's in big red letters, developing story.
And I predicted this last night. In my head, I predicted this. Do you believe me?
No, but let's do it.
Okay, well, I predicted that with the minicamp thing, that we are going to get a headline tomorrow. This is something I was thinking because I often think about sports, because I'm a big sports guy.
Yeah. Well, your award-winning show prep. The prep never stops.
No, I was driving my car and I was like, I bet you we get a story of something stupid that Travis Kelce said tomorrow.
Well, he did say something.
Yeah, and again, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's just not everything he says should be a headline.
Apparently, it is because he's going to play till the wheels fall off. Well, again, it's
obnoxious.
We have to find. We have to
find headlines.
Although something today, because there is nothing going on in sports, and I was depressed over the hockey because I desperately wanted Edmonton to win. It bothers me that basically a Miami team is going to win the Stanley Cup. It
should bother you.
I don't like it. It bothers me immensely. And they're really good, and they're actually kind of a likable team, which makes me hate them even more.
But they're a hockey team from Miami.
Oh, they piss me off. But, I was listening to Dirt and Sprague walking my dog this morning, as I do, because I'm a P1 of the station. And damn it, if something happened that didn't put a smile on my sport face, move over, Hockey Rob, because we now have Blue Line Sprague. I guess Sprague was texting Dirt and Swag, and hand to God, he thought that the goalie for the Florida Panthers, whose name is Sergei Bobrovsky, he thought that his name was Bob Rofsky.
Like Bob Ross, the painting?
Bob, yes. Bob.
Like his last name was Rofsky.
He thought his last name was Rofsky, or Rof with an F.
Bob.
And then his first name was Bob. And he texted those guys, and they thought that he was just doing a voice to text, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so then, Google or whatever, Apple thinks that you're, they're not good at pronouncing Russian names. But no, I guess, he said he just kind of is trying to get into hockey, and he kind of had it on in the background, and he kept hearing Bobrovsky, and he thought that they were saying Bobrovsky. And then the crowd chants Bobby, right? They call him Bobby or Playoff Bob, Big Bob.
Bob the goalie.
Yeah, so the crowd was chanting Bobby. And so he really did. He thought that, that's his name. So I guess he was talking to those guys, and they had to be like, wait, do you think his name is Bob Rofsky? And he was like, yeah, that's his name, right? Made my whole day, my absolute whole day, because it just made me think back to Hockey Rop. So now we have Hockey Rop and Blue Line Sprague, and I will never not be able to.
We should do a hockey podcast together.
You should. It would be amazing.
And by the way,
anytime I see the Panthers play now, there's only one thing going through my mind, and I will never refer to him as any other thing other than Bob Rofsky.
And that's not a huge leap.
It's amazing. Except he's Russian. His name's
well, I know.
Sergey.
Is there anybody in the NHL named Bob? There can't be a Bob in
Bobby
the NHL.
Ryan?
Yeah, I'm sure there's some Bobbies, but not a lot of people go by Bob anymore. But I'm sure there's there's Bobby Hole, like one of
but Bob. I need a Bob.
You need a Bob? I can't necessarily think of a Bob off the top of my head, but there should be. And now we have Bob Rofsky, which it's so delightful when something like that happens.
Well,
I needed it. I needed it to cheer me up in this lack of sports, and Blue Line Sprague, as I'm calling him now, that did it for me.
So I went back and checked the tape. Exactly 3 weeks ago, Rogers spoke about his priorities and the vice presidency and the candidacy of that.
How seriously did things get with RFK about being his running mate? Obviously, we haven't gotten a chance to talk to you since that came out in March.
Yeah, I love Bobby. We had a couple really nice conversations. But there were really two options. It was retire and be his VP or keep playing. And I want to keep playing.
It's important to him.
Look, I hate to back Aaron Rodgers here.
You're about to do it, huh?
Well,
it's like Sue back and Clay Travis.
Yeah, welcome to the club, man.
The only thing that significant that can happen with Aaron Rodgers at minicamp is he can get hurt.
Pretty much.
That's the only thing. So let him go to his little RFK J off, whatever they're doing.
It's J off.
RFK off?
Exactly. And then wrap him in bubble wrap, and then week one, hopefully he doesn't blow out his Achilles.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Now, if this is Zach Wilson,
sure.
Bo Nix.
I'm just saying, when you were the savior of that city, you played like 3 plays, you blew something out, and then you're coming back, you're going all in, you make a big statement about how everything needs to be put aside that isn't football, and then you miss the first day? You missed the first day for a political event? Come on. Like, it's embarrassing. I know it's not the end of the world and no one really cares. They're not going to fine him. They just said that because Saleh said that he's eligible basically for the fine schedule, but they're not going to fine him because you don't want to get in that pissing match with Rodgers, who he'll double down on it. But, when you're trying to win over a locker room and you're trying to set the tone and you're this leader, it's bad optics, man. And you would think at 40 years old, you'd be smart enough to realize that. But,
yeah.
And this is the sort of stuff where if you're a Green Bay fan and your management, and it's easier to say now because you picked Jordan Love and it looks like you got another really good quarterback, but you're just sitting back there in Wisconsin somewhere just laughing your ass off and be like, see, this is the crap we've been dealing with for years. When everyone gave us a hard time for moving on, eventually it wears thin.
I get it, but you were better with Rodgers. Even though you like Jordan Love, you were better with Rodgers.
Yeah.
And when he's throwing for 350 yards and 3 touchdowns,
you shut up.
I'm going to come on here. No, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to come on here and say, see, that could have been 375 yards and 4 touchdowns if he had just shown up to the first day of minicamp.
That one day.
This is all so dumb.
Yeah.
Sports is so dumb.
It really is.
I'm tired of all of it.
Well,
I really am.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Get on board with.
You know who else I'm tired of?
What?
And this is not her fault.
Oh.
Caitlin Clark. I don't care about her anymore.
This unfortunately, I
love her. I think she's great, and I'm rooting for her. But I don't care. I don't watch her, and I'm tired of her in my headlines.
I have tuned out. I don't care. And by the way, I know it makes me like a horrible human being, but I'll say it. I haven't watched a single WNBA game that doesn't involve Caitlin Clark. I'm not going to watch any WNBA games that involve WNBA games.
I'm gay.
Games that involve Caitlin Clark. I'm out. I don't care. I told you this at the beginning. The way they were covering it, it was going to be NBA.
See, I'm already bored. I don't care.
I'm out.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Caitlin Clark is white.
I don't care about.
that?
That's Stephen A. I don't care about the Olympics. I don't care about her being on the roster, not being on the roster.
There's only one thing.
I don't care.
As you know.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, thank you. Now,
Caitlin Clark is white.
so you're not going to get Caitlin Clark talk here.
No.
If you tuned in for that,
It's like Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber. I don't care.
I can tell you, as I've been saying this one for weeks. The Kelseys are overexposed, and I'm tired of both of them, and I don't care what they say. But the only thing in sports headlines, as I was doing my award-winning show prep today, that made me more viscerally mad I'm like, what is this, and why am I reading about it? Is the stupid Joey Chestnut story.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't care about him.
You don't care about his
Why
vegan?
do I care about him?
Well, because it's
I love Caitlin Clark talk.
it's a
He's like a 17-time world champion.
4th
So
of July
what?
institution, and now he's banned.
He got banned for endorsing a vegan hot
A
dog.
rival hot dog. Yeah, because it's Nathan's. the hot dog competition is just sponsored by Nathan's Hot Dogs, which, by the way, I've long said that hot dogs, they're made of rat ass and pelican teeth. There's like a million better things to eat, but if you are going to get a hot dog, you can do a lot worse than a Nathan's dog. It's a quality item.
You can tell the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that. Like if you go get a Bar S hot
Really?
dog,
Yeah, they're very solid.
yeah, it is. The Bar S hot dogs are like the lowest of the low. Like they're horrible. That's
I
the
view
stuff.
them all as crap.
No, there's better ones.
There's different degrees.
The
And
Hebrew-
Nathan's is up there with like the Costco dog.
Yeah, the Hebrew Nation makes a decent dog.
Yes, they do.
Nathan's makes a good one. I think Ballpark sucks. I'm out on that. They're just living off the Jordan brand. So if you're going to like a 4th of July barbecue, I'll pick up a pack of Nathan's or a pack of the Hebrew Nation dogs because some people like a hot dog. It's a quality item. But they're the ones that put it on. So old Chestnut there, he signed an exclusive deal with some like vegan place, and Nathan's was like, no.
Well, my.
You're not showing up wearing
Well-
a competing brand's vegan dog to our contest. Get out of here.
Yeah, all right, cool. By the way, I would have done the same thing he did. He got $1.2 million for that deal.
Exactly.
So what does he care?
Well,
He's
probably-
like, fine. I don't.
Yeah, I'm
He
sure.
has nothing more to prove. He wins it every year.
Yeah, but the whole point is the only reason anyone pays attention to him is because of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. So if you stop doing that, he will fade.
16-time champ.
He'll fade from the spotlight.
I'm sure he's heartbroken as he cashes his $1.2 million check.
Hmm.
Stupid story. It's all stupid.
It's about reputation in the eating game.
We need. Is Kobayashi going to win now?
No,
Or is
he's-
He just
He's
retired.
retired. He's got like health
What?
problems.
When you were gone, me and Suk talked about it.
No,
He
can't
was
be-
in some documentary about gut health, and
He
he
can't-
basically
Yeah, he can't get hungry anymore.
he
Jeez, I
can't get
wonder
hungry.
why.
He said it was like messing with his mentals as well as his internals.
Yeah, he's like all kinds of screwed up now.
Mm.
That and he gets dominated by old Chestnut. Although now that Joey's gone,
Well, there's room for a new king.
That's right.
or queen, don't just assume it's going to be a man.
I
you
thought it was-
sexist pig.
They do
Well, but
split
wait.
the
Yeah,
competition.
they
There's a
split 'em.
women's contest.
No, I thought
Yeah.
the women used
Joey's girlfriend or wife participates
No,
in the
I
women's.
think they have a men's and a women's.
the women used to do it with the men because there was like
I think they do it up there at the same time, but they award a women's and a men's belt.
because there was kind of like a cute Asian that would get up there and eat.
I think that's his wife.
That's his wife.
I'm pretty sure.
Do
Joey's
you remember
man?
when we interviewed him?
I do. Yeah, he was very dull.
We had him in studio. Yeah, no way. uh,
I went out drinking with him one night. I thought he was a fun guy.
yeah, he might be fun. Yeah, you know, a lot of people can be fun after some drinks,
Yeah, yeah.
but on the radio they can be real.
It wasn't.
Stiffs.
Look, it wasn't the greatest. Oh yeah, he is. He's married to the Asian eater. Go
Well,
figure.
Anyway, there's some content.
Boy, that's true love right there. You met shoving a bunch of wieners down your gullet.
Yeah, you'd think women would be better at that
You went there.
than men. I did.
You went there.
You know, it was in my mind, and I thought, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have.
And then you just teed me up, and I
Yeah,
had to.
You had to go for it.
No. Strong.
That's what we do here,
No.
especially this time of year. We got to stay entertained somehow.
Exactly.
Sure as hell ain't gonna be Joey Chestnut or
No,
Caitlin
no, no.
Clark,
I'm just gonna-
Travis Kelsey.
I'm holding on to my Mick
God.
David and Bob Rofsky. Oh,
Wait, he didn't think it was Mick David. He knows about Mick David, right?
I would hope
Wait,
so.
what's
Some-
Bob Rofsky's first name?
Sergey.
Oh.
He's a risky. For whatever reason, the Russians very, very good at that goaltending thing.
All right. Well, despite our best efforts to derail the program, we're not going to do that.
Oh, really?
Nope.
That's what you think.
Well, no promises.
Yeah.
But-
by the way, it's got a weird feeling today. I'm just telling
yeah.
you right now.
Yeah, these are always fun.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah, this is
You
COVID
never
cast right here. Buckle up.
Well, I have some U.S. Open musings, and we have poll. Do you want our poll question today? Are you ready for that? Would you like the poll?
I'm not ready, but let's do it.
Jace?
Let's do it anyways.
It pertains to former Oregon Duck greats.
Oh.
That is next. 321 on the Fan. You want some poll?
Yeah, give me some poll.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt. People are asking me,
All right.
Stuff's happening.
There would be days like this.
There is
Yeah, you're
days like-
pissed off.
I am. Last night got a little heated at the Scannick household.
Do we want to talk about this, or are you going to get in trouble?
Oh, no, we can talk about it. I don't know if you want to talk about it now or in
Well,
the club, but yeah, it happened.
We'll get it in.
Yeah, we'll get it in. Oh, yeah, there was
That's what she said.
there's an Asian kerfuffle right now happening in my household. And I'm standing firm on this one. Also, I think BTJ is poisoning my phone. So I got weird things happening at my house.
Poisoning your phone?
A lot of ads. You know, your phone listens to you, right?
Oh, so she's just intentionally saying phrases around your phone?
There is, and I'm not kidding, the last 48 hours, I have been bombarded. I have never once seen an ad on my phone for this in my life. And now I cannot open an app. I can't Google, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Every time I open my phone, there is an ad for one thing and one thing only.
How to kill your husband.
Wedding rings. Not like male wedding rings.
Oh.
Everything is like manly bands.
What?
It's all like Viking, like molten
Oh.
silver, like wedding bands. I'm like, excuse me?
Oh.
What is
She's going to propose to you.
what is going on? I think she's just opening my phone and being like, wedding bands, and then sticking it down. Like every time I go
That's
to
actually brilliant if she's doing that.
I think so. Why else all of a sudden would my phone just out of nowhere just start sending me random ads for different
well,
wedding?
it's picking it up somewhere.
Exactly. And you know where they're not getting
Maybe
it from?
she's going to propose to you, which would make you the second 1080 The Fan personality to be proposed to by their girlfriend.
Who got proposed to in the first one?
Come on, dude.
Oh, by the way, here it is. So I just opened Instagram. I scrolled down 4 posts, and look what's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you wear that?
No. They're awful.
What's the
They're all these manly, they're like, it's for all these like non-traditional wedding rings. It's like, be a real man. This one's made out of,
Well, what's on it? What is that? What is it, like an eagle and a knife?
Yeah, this one's has a bunch of like animals and stuff on it. And then like there's a bunch of random ones that are like got like Viking symbols.
Yeah, don't get that one.
So like this is like all my phone is now. And my phone has just turned into one big wedding proposal for manly bands. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I secretly think that there is a psyops going against me where my phone is being opened and then people are just shouting, wedding band, wedding band, wedding band. And then subconsciously when I open it, it's happening.
Now, you seriously don't know who the first 1080 The Fan personality was proposed to by their girlfriend? You don't remember
Was
this?
that a Swigard thing?
Jason Swigard.
Okay. The nurse, or not nurse, but
Hold on,
the
everybody.
actress.
Here's the situation.
She proposed to him.
Over. We think.
I kind of remember that. Like when you said there was a fan personality, I was kind of scrolling. And I was like,
You'd be number 2.
I was like, Dirt, no. Dusty, no. I was like, yeah, I think it's Swag.
And by the way, should we do a segment on your commitment issues?
We could probably dig into that. Tell the psychiatrist to put aside the brother issues. We got some new stuff that we need to dig into for a while. Yeah, that's a whole thing.
This show can be a lot of things.
Yeah.
Including therapy.
Well, I'm just saying, I find it very odd indeed, that look, scrolled about 4 more down. Look at this one. Cosmos Alley, another ad. I've never had this many targeted ads in my life.
Well, you're definitely making it worse right now. Because you're just
He's not wrong
screaming
about
into
that.
it.
Yeah, now it's going to be from all corners. But do you think do you have anywhere on your, did you say it was Instagram?
That one's Instagram, but
Yeah.
it's happening on Twitter. It's happening when I just, when you pull up Google for the first time and it's got the ads, they're there too. Every app is conspiring against me, all coming in at once.
Do you have anywhere posted that you're single?
No, I don't post anything.
Well, sometimes people do. I didn't,
No, it's just a never-ending bombardment. And I find it odd that now, all of a sudden, I haven't been I promise you, who isn't searching for male wedding rings? Me. If I was searching for wedding rings, wouldn't it be female engagement rings? I'm not buying myself a ring, for God's sakes. And yet all of a sudden, now every one of my ads is now targeted towards me. And it involves, and by the way, they're all awful. Every one of them is the most ridiculous wedding thing I've ever seen.
just propose.
I can't.
She's great.
I don't have a ring. I wouldn't even know where to find one. Wouldn't even know where to begin.
Well, it sounds like she's going to get you
Instagram.
one. She's probably already got it.
Keep talking about it long enough, it'll be on your feed.
Man.
Here is today's poll question on X at 1080 The Fan. It's brought to you by AAA Heating and Cooling, a family business helping families for over 60 years. AAAIAQ.com.
What is the deal?
Yesterday we asked you, which point guard would you most want on your team? Damian Lillard winning, although many of you are biased.
I would think so.
He got 50% of the vote.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday of the Celtics, 26%. Jalen Brunson right on his heels at 18%. Kyrie Irving, the best player on the list, 6%.
Well, people are like, he had the whole image rehab this year, and now with the performance in the finals, all that goodwill that he had built up.
Now we're like, oh, he sucks.
Well, and two, he's like,
terrible.
he's showing up at press conferences dressed like Cam Newton, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I hate that guy. Like, we forget, like, for a while there, he was like public enemy number one. And then everyone like kind of loved him. They're like, oh my God, he's playing defense. The Mavericks are this great story. Down 2-0. Now we're right back to that. Dumbass. Dude, the sports world is very fickle. They'll turn on you on a dime.
Okay, so today's question, it's up there for you on X at 1080 The Fan. To which former Duck do you wish the most success in the pros? Peyton Pritchard, Sabrina Ionescu, Justin Herbert, or Bo Nix?
Oh.
Vote hard.
Peyton Pritchard. Really?
Well, that's kind of why he's not going to win. But that's kind of what prompted this question is, once again, Jason, I was thinking very deeply about sports.
You often do.
And Peyton Pritchard being from here, because Ionescu played at Oregon, but she's not from here.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's a local guy. And, of course, Bo Nix is not.
Mm-hmm.
I wondered, in my head, I was like, I wonder why Peyton Pritchard isn't more
he
beloved.
Well, and he was a high school legend here.
Yeah. I mean,
Stayed all 4 years at Oregon.
He's
all
awesome.
4 years at Oregon.
Yeah.
He really should be.
But he's not.
No, he's not beloved.
And I don't know why that is.
I think he has almost no personality. I don't mean to but you hear him interviewed. It's never that
Justin
interesting.
Herbert is not exactly Mr.
But he's an
Personality.
NFL quarterback.
That is a very valid point. No offense to Justin Herbert, but dude, that guy is paint dry.
Right, but he's an NFL quarterback, which is more exciting than a backup point guard.
His game is exciting.
Yeah,
Herbert's
that
game
too.
is exciting. And he's, of course, better at what he does. But I
you
don't know, it's weird.
And Pritchard's the little scrappy white guy.
Yes.
We all love that guy.
We're the whitest state in the union.
Yeah, we're the whites. He's everything you could want in like the NBA like hero. No one thought he could do it. He stayed, like you said, all 4 years at Oregon. Boy, I've never thought about that, but he should be a much bigger deal here than he is.
And he's not going to win this at all. He'll probably finish last in this poll.
Yeah.
So I wanted that poll question to prompt maybe somebody to explain
why we don't like Peyton Pritchard.
Well, it's not that we don't like him.
Well, I'm asking the question.
He's not that popular. He doesn't seem as popular as he should be.
Buck, you're a Oregon honk douche.
Whoa,
God!
Jeez, so
come on. Do you like Peyton Pritchard, or are you indifferent to Peyton Pritchard, or do you not like him?
I mean, as an alum, I always want to see Ducks be successful, but I'm less interested in him being successful maybe than others.
Why?
I think, again, he's just not that exciting. And he doesn't have a very large role on his team. I mean, he's in the championship now, but he's a backup point guard, which is great for him and great for his team, but it's not the same as being a starting quarterback.
I would like to – what I'm really thinking – look, I got to say this.
Is it the haircut?
No.
Does it bother you?
Not at all. It's just – well, he's bald.
No,
he shaves his head.
He's got a little buzz cut. He's got a punchable face.
No, I just wonder – what we're really getting at here is, and I don't want to say, I don't know, because I have not really heard much about his reputation or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Was he an ass? Is he somebody
that's a good call? I don't know.
You know, like there's sometimes you catch wind, even though you don't know them. You work in the sports sphere around this area, and you're like, oh,
Kevin Love had that.
I've heard terrible things about.
I've heard that about other guys from West Lynn, but I haven't heard about him.
I haven't heard anything about Pritchard. That's what's so weird. And
yeah.
You're right, Kevin Love
had it.
You knew about Stan,
and that's and it kind of was de facto. But I remember like there was it's like the Oregon Sports Awards? I think it was. And Love won an award, and you know the kid is in high school, and he showed up wearing like a tracksuit and like a flat billed hat, and everyone else was in a suit and all that. And I remember like a lot of the old media just were dragging the poor kid. I was like, oh, for God's sakes, he's 17. They're like, really? Like, that's what you know? I'm like, that of all the things, but you're right. It was the Lako thing and Stan Love, but he did not.
I think Stan didn't
do him
Kevin any favors.
No. And he went to UCLA and, he kind of left. And he's not Kevin Love was
Pritchard went to Oregon.
Yeah, Pritchard went to Oregon.
Stayed here.
Yes.
Went to the hometown or the big school.
And was good.
And now he's on the verge of winning a title. And it's like,
yeah, you're right. That is I have never really thought about that. Whereas some of the other Oregon legends aren't even from Oregon. Obviously Marcus, Marcus is from Hawaii. Now he won a Heisman Trophy. That's different. But, you mentioned Sabrina's not from here. Like it's, that's weird. Like Pritchard should have all the components to come into Portland and never have to buy another drink a day in his life. And I don't know, because when you win a title like that, a lot of guys will come back. Not that Portland's a small city, but we're not New York. And people will come back after winning a title and the city kind of embraces them and they'll be like, they'll have a day for them and they'll do something out at Pioneer Courthouse Square and, whatever in the city center. I don't, when they win and they're going to win, if they had a Peyton Pritchard Day in Portland and, we gave him, he brought the Larry O'Brien trophy and he went out to Pioneer Courthouse Square and we moved aside some crack pipes and needles and whatnot. And we had an event. Would people show up?
I don't know.
We should. The guy's a local hero. I've never heard him do anything bad.
The other thing is,
right?
I feel like at Oregon too, I think he was overshadowed by other guys. He was on some pretty good teams with some other pretty talented players. So didn't he play with Dylan Brooks and Jordan Bell and some of those guys who were
not
also
star.
A big deal?
He
was
never
the Pac-12 Player of the Year though.
Was he?
Yeah, okay.
Whoa.
Double check.
That's correct. That is correct. His senior year, he was. That is correct.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was the Pac-12 tournament most outstanding player in 2019.
I was about to say he wasn't he was never the star of the team.
No, his last year,
He was
it was
the star of the conference, apparently.
He was an All-American.
You're
He was the
right.
Player of the Year.
20.5 points, 5.5 assists, 4.3 rebounds per game.
Yeah, he was a big deal.
Pac-12 Player of the Year.
And he even had that Portland Pro-Am where he went off for 91 points in a game. Do you remember that summer league game that made him legendary? He has a little legendary anecdote too.
I don't know why.
It's interesting.
Does anyone have?
Well, I've got a couple theories. Let's break.
I want to throw
we
it out text line, Vancouver Ford text line.
Yeah.
Does anyone have good or bad stories? I've never heard any interactions of anyone with Peyton Pritchard. What's the street say about him? Good, bad, indifferent?
Street cred?
Well, I don't know. You keep your ear to the street.
He looks like he has some street cred.
Well,
we balls.
We bring up Will Clark, and there's people are like, oh yeah, I knew this guy, and this dude was an ass. Peyton Pritchard's from here, grew up here, lived here, and yet I never hear anyone's stories with Peyton Pritchard.
Maybe there's not much to him. I don't know. The Vancouver Ford text line is 503-864-6326. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. VancouverFord.com. So that's the poll question. Vote hard on X. To which former Duck do you wish the most success in the pros? Peyton Pritchard, Sabrina Ionescu, Justin Herbert, or Bo Nix. We'll keep you updated on the results. We'll come back, answer some texts. And apparently Souk has an Asian kerfuffle. That's all I wrote down here.
Oh, yeah.
In the house.
Man, it's happening. Besides the wedding ring ads mysteriously showing up
We've
on
got
my phone.
Another kerfuffle.
There's another one.
Let's go to Buckless Sports Center.
This is a 680 The Fan.
All right. Well, we're discussing Peyton Pritchard, who plays for the Boston Celtics. He is from West Lynn. Had a great career with the Ducks. Hit a big three the other night. Little buzzer beater. He's, I don't know what his numbers are in the NBA, but
he's a nice backup point guard for them.
Yeah,
He's a nice role
good
player.
3-point shooter.
Yeah.
And we were asking the question why he doesn't seem to be as revered here as some other high-level athletes that have come out of our area. You mentioned Kevin Love. We were talking about Justin Herbert.
Sabrina.
Yeah, she went to Oregon. She's not actually from it. So
No.
Peyton from here.
Yeah.
Now, a theme that we're getting on the Vancouver Ford text line is that, and this I would imagine all of this, it's like a combination of 100 things, right?
Yeah, it's usually not one thing.
One of those things, and I think this is legitimate, is the West Lynn or Lake O kids.
Yeah.
And Kevin Love did get some of this, but Kevin Love, I don't remember Peyton Pritchard in high school, but Kevin Love I do. Like, Kevin Love was like the best player in the country, wasn't
Yes,
he?
he was a
like
huge
number
deal.
one.
Yes, he was a big deal. Could have gone
he
anywhere he wanted.
He got more love than Pritchard because of that, but I think there is a stigma against the rich kids schools,
Sure.
the West Lynn and the Lakos.
Yeah.
I think that's a deal. Like if he played for Jefferson or if he played for I don't know.
Yeah,
One of those
Roosevelt or
schools.
something. But yeah, you win four. I mean, he won 4 straight state titles with West Lynn.
Did he?
Yeah, 4 straight.
So was he as awesome as Kevin Love in high school?
He was. I mean, he was a phenomenal player, but he was an undersized guy.
Not
Like,
physically. I
he's
mean,
not
Kevin Love
physically.
was 6'10",
Well,
so
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
but I just mean like as a player.
just from accomplishment standpoint,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Because Love didn't even win 4 straight, did he? Didn't they
No.
lose one year?
No, he didn't win 4
He
straight.
did not
I mean,
win 4 in a row.
Pritchard is a high school legend. But again, to your point, West Lynn, Lake O, you're going to get a lot of people that aren't. I mean, it's not Jesuit, but
It's the same idea.
It's the same
for a
idea.
lot of people.
Yes. The other one that we keep hearing, and I think you got to be careful with this. He sounds from all accounts, because some people say, I've never heard anything but good things about him. We had a teacher that was there at West Lynn. There was a coach that coached another sport, said, dude was an awesome kid. Coach never had anything bad to say about him. And then there's other people that said he was basically a stuck-up jerk. But the one common thing is that he's very quiet. And you also have to wonder, if you are a quiet kid and a gym rat, I guess he just lived in the gym. If you're quiet, very dedicated to your sport, don't say a whole lot of things to a lot of people, and all you do is play basketball as West Lynn, is it possible that comes off as being a stuck-up jerk to a lot of people? That's
he does seem quiet.
a lot of times
well-
the quiet kid, if you are really talented and dedicated towards something, for some people, unfortunately, that gets viewed as standoffish and being an ass for not having a big personality.
Yeah, one of the people in the Vancouver Ford text line saying that his senior year, he basically didn't go to class and was in the gym shooting baskets 6 hours a day.
See, but that's not a
that's not a lot of athletes do
that's
that.
and that's not a bad thing. But again, if you're in school and you never see Pritchard out at parties, he's not a guy that's running around prom, and he's not the student body president, and you're like, where's the Pritchard kid? I don't know, he's in the gym again. I can see where a lot of people take that as entitlement, standoffishness, and because I don't know the kid. I've never heard anything bad about him. And so it just makes me wonder. The one thing I have heard is that he's quiet and reserved and doesn't have a big personality.
Well,
so
the
you
other
got to be
thing
careful
too
with
is
that.
parents, like I was thinking about Adley Rutschman, and his dad. Like, this is not a huge town, and
No.
you and I have been in sports in this town for over 20 years, or just short of 20 years, and so you just run into sports people.
Yeah.
With Peyton Pritchard, one, never met him, and we've met most of all the big athletes that have come out of here, even if they're not even from here. But, and then two, their parents if they're from here,
Yeah.
or you have at least heard about the reputation of the parents.
Yeah.
Like Adley Rutschman's dad is a gem.
Yep. The whole family.
They're wonderful, and that's their reputation, right? That's another one about Peyton Pritchard. I don't know who his parents are.
No.
Never heard a thing about him.
No.
It's
No.
the damnedest thing.
Yeah, and so he's just this kind of and maybe he's happy this way.
Yeah.
Maybe he's one of those
Yeah,
guys.
none of
that's-
these should be criticisms.
No.
But it's just it is kind of interesting that he's just not really talked about much, and he
Yeah.
could be an NBA champion here
Yeah.
shortly.
And he's a 6 man for Boston. He scores 9 to 10 points at night, and for a guy that's undersized that people had doubted, he was that guy in high school. They were like, yeah, he was a high school player, but he won't do much in college. Started as a freshman in the Final Four, for God's sakes. And the other one that people brought up, his senior year, when he really had the breakout year, was an All-American Player of the Year. He got the tournament canceled.
Yeah, COVID.
Would that have made a difference if he could have taken Oregon on a run?
I think it would have, yeah.
Does that kind of help vault
Same with
him?
Sabrina.
Yeah.
Had that, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was in her senior year.
Senior year. And
Canceled.
a lot of people thought that Oregon would have been the national champion. And Sabrina was a big deal nationally. Now, I'm not saying that she would have been Caitlin Clark, but Sabrina had some juice going. And if she would have been able to have that senior year tournament run, she would. I mean, she's already a big deal. She has her own shoe at Nike.
But she was the queen of the triple-double,
Yes.
broke the men's and women's record.
She would have
Her team
been
beat the Team USA team that offseason.
As big a deal as she is, that a tournament run and winning a national title, buckle up.
Puts her in a different stratosphere,
Because
probably.
she would have been the definition of a star. She would have been Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark.
Although she struggled her rookie year, and
Yeah.
she would have been dragged like Caitlin Clark, maybe.
The Caitlin Clark stuff is just...
Caitlin Clark is white.
I told you, I feel bad for her. I told you going into this thing, I felt bad for her because through no fault of her own, she's in the middle of the days of our lives. And the coverage around here is just silly and stupid. I think she has handled it tremendously well, but it's a no-win situation for her.
Somebody else texts, I always thought Peyton was Kevin Pritchard's son, the former Blazers
Maybe that's why
GM.
everyone hates him.
It's true. They were kind of... Well, Pritchard is old enough to be his dad.
That would work.
Yeah, it would work. But Pritchard, Kevin Pritchard, former Blazers GM, as you may or may not know, he's a rock chalker.
Yeah.
He went to Kansas.
Well,
he won a title with Danny and the Miracles. He was one of the Miracles.
Yes, he
He was the
was.
point guard on that team. And I love him to this day for it.
Drug along by the great Danny Manning.
I used to make him so uncomfortable because that's all I would want to talk to him about.
He'd
He'd just be like, Isaac,
what do you want from me? I was slapping the floor. I don't know.
leave me alone.
Used to ask him questions about like, hey, how awesome was Danny Manning? Hey, how tall?
Well,
like,
no, we talk about like because I knew the team.
Yeah.
So we talk about like Milton Newton and Scooter Barry.
Scooter Barry.
Yeah, we had a Barry on that team. One of the Barry boys.
brothers, right?
Yeah.
Scooter Barry, I love it. And his name was Scooter. There's nothing more. Maybe Pritchard just needs a name like Scooter. If he was Scooter Pritchard, would we think differently about him? Someone here too and say, yeah, he hit a game winner against UW and then ran around the court yelling, "We run this state." He should win this poll. He should be more popular. We're gonna start when he wins the title, we're gonna bring him on and we're gonna start we should all collectively like love Peyton Pritchard more.
You just alone the undersized white guy thing.
Yes.
We love the undersized white guy.
God, it's new. It's the one thing we won't shut up about.
And yet,
yeah, Julian Edelman. Anytime someone's even remotely undersized and they're white, we freak out
That
about.
Peyton Pritchard, he's so gritty.
could you mix in a black?
He just wants it more. He just wants it more.
All right.
All effort,
Hard
Well,
worker.
no talent.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but all good thoughts about the legacy of the great Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yes.
Got some U.S. Open musings coming up, and Sook's Asian kerfuffle in his house. It is 3:54 on the Fan. Hey, it's Rob sticking around for Window Nation. He has a cut on his little footsie, right in between his toesies.
Boy, and he doesn't know how it got there.
Yeah, he doesn't know how it got there, but it got infected.
Yeah.
And he can't swing, so he can't swing like he wants to. So he withdrew from the live event last week, and now he is not playing in the U.S. Open. Two-time major champion Jon Rahm will not be there.
It is weird because we were talking about this because I've seen people online giving him a lot of crap for it. Like he's got a little cut between his toes. But this is what we were saying. Like there's some sports that you can be all tough and I'm going to be manly. Like if you're a left tackle and you got a little infection in your foot, cool, get it drained. Here's some Toradol, go play. But when you're a golfer and, everything is so precise that you can't power through stuff like that. I'm sure that that thing is just brutal to turn on. I don't know if it's his lead foot or his back foot, but either way, last time I checked, golf requires a little bit of balance and precision. So I know people are giving him a hard time, but it's like when a baseball pitcher gets a blister on his finger or a split nail and he can't pitch.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're giving a guy crap, look, these guys, there's a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
They're not going to withdraw from a tournament unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Okay, they want to play in these tournaments.
Yeah.
So he obviously can't swing the way he wants to. You know the story of him. He has a club foot, right? Did you know that?
I didn't know he had a club foot.
That's why his swing is so short.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't, because he had to kind of transform his swing and his body based on that. And that's why his swing looks the way it is, which is really amazing that he's one of the top golfers in the world with that.
He's got like a half backswing, but boy, he hits
he can't. He just that foot he can't get all the way back, and so he's just kind of adapted his swing. So, but with this, he's out.
Yeah. So, of course,
rest in peace, Jon
he didn't
Rahm.
finish well at the Masters, and then he missed the cut, and so obviously people are, online trolls.
Well, he was not. Well, put it this way: even if he played, he's
not.
He has fallen from the oh, you got to bet on Jon Rahm's.
Well, and remember, again, people love to tear people down, and he was the guy that came out and said that when he joined Live, he thought that he was going to be the one that finally brought peace to the universe because he was such a big deal. And that rubbed some people the wrong way, and then you start having some struggles, and people love to take shots at guys when they were on top. We love a great story, and we love to tear it down. I like Jon Rahm. I know sometimes his personality can be a bit much for people. He's a fiery Spaniard, but I'm pro Rahm, and I'm bummed that he won't be at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, they said he was born with a club foot, and doctors had to break it right away.
Oof.
And so he came out of the womb and was placed in a cast from the knee down. They had to break his foot and ankle 20 minutes after he was born.
So I'm guessing he probably has the one foot that's smaller and all that stuff.
Yeah, he said his foot was 90 degrees turned inside and basically upside down when he came out. And so, that'll affect your golf swing.
Yeah, my dad, my late dad, he had a club foot when he was growing up, and that was like back in the 1950s. And he had to have that through like the first 6 or 7 years of his life. They had to break his foot multiple times and then put it like in a cast and scrape the bone, and it was a whole awful thing. And yeah, his foot was never the same. It was like 2 sizes smaller than the other one. But at least now, hopefully with better technology.
Did he win? How many majors did he win? 0.
And I think it was because of that foot. But yeah, it was a weird looking thing. Like I didn't realize it until I got older. I was like, oh yeah, what's going on there? It's had that the old club foot. I did not know that about Rahmer though. I had no idea.
Yeah, so he has withdrawn. We've got more U.S. Open talk coming up. How many people know Bryson DeChambeau has 3D printed golf clubs?
Mm-hmm. That he designed, and he will let you know about it.
I hate to say this. I do.
Feel free.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. I mean,
You don't want to be interested?
No, he's a douchebag. He falls into the Aaron Rodgers category. I can't stand him.
He claims he's got great clubs.
What did he do recently that we started liking him? Oh, Sook, you and me were doing that show when he yelled at the dude who took the ball from the kid.
Yeah.
And we started liking DeChambeau again.
Was it the PGA? Which one were you going for?
The end of the PGA.
It was the PGA.
Yeah, he was walking off the course because he had a great finish there, right? And he had a strong finish. Almost won. And so he's going over to the practice range to hit balls in case there's a playoff. And he flips the ball that he's got. He flips it to a kid, and this doucher reaches out in front of the kid and grabs it.
Really?
And DeChambeau sees it, turns around, walks like 6 feet back, and
Pointing at him,
berates him, and makes him give the ball back to the kid, like fist bumps the kid, and then walks off. And I was like, damn it. Do I have to start?
Now we have to like
now
him.
we gotta
yeah,
like
the guy
him?
was trying to like weasel his way out of there, and
Yeah,
then he's like,
he's-
"Nope, I see
yeah.
you. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That wasn't for you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good.
Give him the
move.
business.
But all I got to do is just show you the rope video. That's
Well,
all
sure.
I got to do.
Yeah, well.
He's a douchebag. But what he does,
he's an interesting douchebag.
it's what he is doing with his clubs, and you know the way
The
he
one
thinks.
length and all that.
Yeah, the way he thinks about the game is actually. I think it's pretty interesting. Anyway, that's coming up. It is 4:05 on the Fan. As the BTJ committed a penalty.
I think so. I'll take it to the group.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Should we throw the yellow flag on the BTJ? That's coming up, but we are talking about the U.S. Open, the United States Open, Pinehurst. Let's go. Starts on Thursday.
That clip going around of dropping the golf ball in the middle of the green that's making the rounds. I don't know what green that is, but there's a clip and someone just goes to the middle of one of the greens, takes a golf, like right dead smack in the middle, and just drops it from a dead fall, hits the green, and it just kind of starts rolling and then rolling and then rolling. And about 40 feet later, it is just off the green in just this awful area. And the guy just turns, looks at the camera, and is like, this, I don't think 10 under is winning this one. Boy, that they say the greens are lightning.
Well, you know, the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the toughest test.
Yep.
And they like it that way.
Yep.
So the favorite is Scotty Scheffler. I don't know if it's worth betting Scotty Scheffler at plus 300. Next lowest is Xander at plus 1,000.
Does it say something, though, with the greens supposedly as troubling as they are, as quick as they are, and the one thing that Scheffler doesn't do at an elite level is putt? Does that give you some pause?
Not really.
No.
Not the way he's been playing. Because this one isn't going to be about putting.
Is where you put the ball.
He's just so good and so precise and hits the right shots, and that's what this course is all about. We were talking about this yesterday. Valhalla PGA Championship, they all hit it in the same spot. That course was not that interesting for a major because they can all kind of hit it roughly the same areas. Mm-hmm. And if you hit a mediocre shot, okay, maybe you have a little longer putt than the other guy. And then it becomes about who makes, 15 footers, right? Yeah. And that's why you saw the leaderboard pretty bunched up. Here, this is going to separate the big boys from the guys who aren't hitting it that well because you have to be so precise. It will punish mediocre shots. And nobody, tee to green, is better than Scotty Scheffler, and it's not even close. So he is going to, so I guess you could say if he putts reasonably well, the way he hits, that's why he's plus 300. And I don't know if it's worth a bet on him. I mean, he's won 5 out of the last 8 tournaments.
And had a child and been arrested with a felony. So he's had a busy run. You said yesterday, right, that statistically this is the second greatest season up until this point of all time? Yes,
behind Tiger Woods in 2000, Scotty Scheffler is currently having the second best single PGA Tour season ever, and we're only halfway done.
Yeah.
So if he keeps this up, did you see the guy who showed up to his member guest at his ritzy country club with the cop hanging out of the door of his car? Did you see that?
No, but him and his buddy were doing bits.
Yeah, they were doing bits.
They got one of the cars it was like an Escalade that looked just like the one Scotty was driving, and then they had like a dummy with like the yellow vest on and his arms hanging and his legs dragging. It was a whole thing.
I mean, come on.
I was hoping that someone just had like a cop friend. Like I got a buddy of mine. I got a couple that are police officers. That would be great. If you actually got a cop to kind of
hang onto your car.
Well, like maybe do a Dukes of Hazzard sort of thing. Like imagine like if you're pulling into wherever you're having your member guest, you're pulling into a country club, and you got your buddy in full cop uniform to jump on the hood of your car.
and ride in that
just
way.
Just ride in that way. Stop this thing. You just come rolling in. That's making an entrance.
You gotta love good member guest bits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bryson DeChambeau. I don't know that he's a good bet here, because this is more about precision.
And he's just such a bomber, and his whole thing is if I hit the ball far enough, it doesn't matter where I hit it. Well, here
it does.
That probably matters.
It does. Yeah. So I don't know if he's the greatest bet, but he has. I don't know how many people know that he has 3D printed irons, and that still makes my brain go blue screen because I don't really know what that means.
You don't?
Well, I mean, I know what I've seen it.
Yeah.
But I still can't really wrap my head around it. I just think it's really wild.
Yeah, he designed them, and he helped design them, and then they are the definition of custom irons.
Well, he got them. Yeah, he got them approved on the Monday before the Masters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was a big controversy of whether or not they would be approved. Well, they did approve them, and he finished 6th at the Masters, and he just damn near won the PGA Championship.
Yeah.
So it's definitely working for him. There are some people who think that he has an advantage due to this, but them being approved, other guys can do it too. They have to be 3D printed, though. You can't build the clubs that he has.
Yes.
Because when you forge a club, that typically flattens the face. So these had to be 3D printed because he's got curvature in them.
Mm-hmm.
So it caves in on the toe and the heel, is what he said.
And he claims that this.
So when he mishits it,
it straightens it.
It goes straighter. It
Yep.
doesn't overcorrect, which is actually pretty genius. And this technology is already in. Like if you've ever heard of the twist face driver, that's been out there on the market for a while. That's what this is, and he's just doing it with all his clubs. So he claims it only works at low loft and higher swing speeds that only he has.
Yeah.
But they are one of one clubs. Nobody else has this.
Nope.
I forget the name of the company that made him for him. But
yeah, it was.
it's working.
Started with an A. Is it Avada?
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's a little known, and it just. And then he's got a guy that there's one guy that he was working with, and him and this guy went back and forth, and they created, like you said, this one-of-a-kind thing that can't be made any other way than having them 3D printed. And he claims that it solves his mishits, which is, by the way, like that's like every hack that goes out there and buys a new driver or buys new clubs. That's all. It's game improvement irons, and with all the forged irons that are played by the pros, I mean, those are the least forgiving clubs. And apparently he's got the best of both worlds now.
Yeah, of all the ways that we can screw up our golf shots, I would love the opportunity to be like, yeah, just make the club exactly so that anytime I do something wrong, it just corrects it for me. That's
But
great.
supposedly with the field that you can shape shots the way that you have with blades. I mean, you play blades, right?
Mine are kind of a combo. Yeah.
Well, you're a really good golfer, but if you're someone that's like a 15 handicap, go hit some blades sometime and be like, yeah, I'm never picking these
Yeah, they're
up.
tougher to hit.
Yeah, they really are.
But when you hit them in the sweet spot.
Yep. And you can shape the ball. And I mean, it's pretty cool, though. I don't think his, I was reading that because DeChambeau originally was playing all his clubs the same length.
Same now.
Same now.
He's always had that.
But no, these
not always, but
these are slightly different. They're like 2 or 3 different lengths. I think he said that I was reading that like all of the short irons are basically an 8 iron, but on some of the other ones, he has changed a little bit. So it's no longer all one standard length.
Well, that's probably due to the fact that when he did that, he switched to all the same length. That was very controversial because people were like, "Well, dude, your wedges, you're gonna suck with your wedges."
Yeah.
Because it feels like I don't know what they were all, like 7 iron or 6
I
iron.
think they were all 7 or 8s. Yeah.
It's going to feel like a 7. Like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he would bomb the ball, and it's cool to watch him bomb the ball, but his wedge game was atrocious.
Yeah.
So that's probably
He
his
switched it up a little bit.
pivot there on that.
So I guess 8 and above is all the same length, and then he moved
Well,
it to
look, man,
the longer irons.
it's interesting. He is a donkey, but he is really interesting, and he is really fun to watch when he's out on the course. I mean,
Yeah.
he hits the crap out of the ball.
Yeah, he does.
And people love that.
Well,
and he's like I said, since he got these irons, he's finished 6th at the Masters and 2nd at the PGA Championship.
Yeah, his approach, and this is the one thing, because I think obviously he's a douche, but villains can be good for sports, right? And I appreciate the fact that here's a guy he's thinking outside of the box, right? I think that's kind of cool that he's experimenting with this sort of stuff. And by the way, if he starts winning and it's working, who's ever his little club manufacturer, this Avado place or whatever, they'll get other clients too.
Well, they probably already have. I
Yeah.
mean, he's played well enough. And he even said, the one thing I've learned here over the last couple majors is that this technology that that we designed, I can win a major with it.
Yeah.
And
much
he didn't know that when he set out.
How much do you think a set of those cost, by the way?
They said 10,000.
10 G's?
Yeah. It's a lot of money.
That's I'm little
Not for him.
out of my pocket. I don't have that.
Well, don't bet on him. I don't think he's going to win.
Yeah, not necessarily. What's the best he's finished at US Open?
He won the U.S. Open.
Did he win the US Open?
Yeah. He hit that. He won the one that a couple years. I forget. Was that Winged Foot, where you just bomb away?
Yeah.
And he was just, some courses are like that.
Yeah.
Just favor a guy like him. All right, little hot, super hot, sexy 3D printing golf talk.
That's the only one he's won.
How about that?
For some reason, I thought I knew he had won a major. I did not remember that it was the U.S. Open. Yeah, 2020.
We have Xander Schauffele talking about golfing with Michael Jordan later. But up next, should Suk's girlfriend, or is it fiancée, should she be called to the carpet?
I feel so. I feel like I'm in the right, but, I'm
We'll
open
let
to the
you
idea that
decide.
I'm wrong.
421 on the Fan.
We're feeling a draft.
Whether it's the number
It's superior.
Okay.
And I'm not going to lie. You try a Japanese toilet and you try some of the Japanese mayo, you're onto something. Japanese fried chicken, delightful. So, like, yeah, I got drug out to a winery.
Yeah, you had to go wine tasting.
Yeah, and then I realized why we had to go out to
Your
that one.
plight of having to go wine. I mean, I just felt so bad for you.
It's because it was an Asian winery. It was the
So
first
horrible.
Asian winery, even though they're Korean. So here's my thing. So wherever she goes, you run into other Asian people, and it turns into a thing. So she's at New Seasons the other day, and she's standing in line, and out of nowhere, an Asian lady starts talking to
And
her.
you're there.
No, I wasn't there for this. I was not there. I was relayed this. So this Asian lady starts talking to her and is like, oh my gosh, she's like another Asian person. And I'm like, is it really that rare in Vancouver? Apparently it is. So they strike up this conversation over being Asian, and then her Asian husband shows up and is like, oh my God, another Asian.
Can I ask, how does that start? When you say they strike up a conversation over being Asian, does one of them look at each other and they just give them a nod and they just start saying hello?
Apparently.
Or like, what kind of Asian are you? Do they ask?
Well, they
Like,
know that, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine,
I think
but
you just lock eyes and you're like, hey, what's up?
and then you just start going like you're best of friends?
I've told the story. We were in Bend once, and we were checking out at the local Safeway or whatever, and the checkout lady was Asian. She goes, oh my God, are you new in town? And we were like, huh? And she goes, you're new in town. And we're like, no, we're just visiting. She goes, oh, I would have known. She would have known if another Asian person moved into Bend. But I would think in Vancouver it wasn't that unique, but apparently it is. So she starts talking to him, and over the course of how long does it take you to stand in line at a grocery store? 4 minutes? Maybe?
Well, it depends.
Well-
Maud may be writing a check up there.
I guess.
Or digging in her coin purse.
Needless to say, numbers are exchanged. And she comes home and I'm like, what? Like you
So this is a young person?
It's a couple. I don't know how old they are, but they're not old.
She was talking to a couple or just to the one person?
Talking to the lady at first, then the husband comes over who is also Asian. Turns out they're Korean, by the way. Not even the right kind of Asian, according to her. So they strike up this conversation. Numbers are exchanged, and I'm like, dude, that's weird as hell. I'm like, you gave them your number? And she's like, yeah, they asked for it. And I was like, okay. I was like, that is very, very strange. She's like, what? They seem nice. And I was like, oh my gosh. She goes, well, they wanted to get drinks. I was like, you're not going. I'm like, that's how you end up getting murdered. I'm like, you're not doing that. Like, don't go meet them.
Tell her what to do.
Well, like, don't go over to someone's house. She's like, what? So herein lies, so I haven't heard about this for like, I don't know, like a week to 2 weeks go by. And yesterday I get home and I always ask the question, like, hey, what do you got going on this week? Because she's off doing stuff all the time.
Yeah, she wants to get into your calendar.
Yeah. So I just was
So
like,
you got to tell her you're full.
so I just was like, hey, what, and I was like, oh,
You
I'm
got
just
a lot of stuff.
milling around. I don't have anything really. And she goes, well, on Friday.
That's your first mistake.
That's the first mistake. And she goes, well, on Friday, we're meeting for drinks. And I was like, what, who are we meeting? And already I get a lot of flack because I don't go do a lot of things with her and her friends.
No way.
Yeah, it's not my thing. And I said, well, who are we meeting? And she hits me with the Korean couple. And I said, excuse me? The Korean couple? Which one's the Korean couple? That's the other thing. I get yelled at a lot because I don't remember like who are friends. There are a lot of those people that I meet and it's like, eh.
Well, you shouldn't have remembered these people. You don't even know them.
Exactly. And she goes, the people from the grocery store. And I said, excuse me? Like, what? She goes, yeah, we're meeting them for drinks. And I was like, yeah, no, we're not. Yeah, I'm not doing that. And she goes, well, you said don't go alone. And I'm like, that doesn't mean to bring me. She says, well, I already said that we're going. I said, did you let him know I'm not Asian? She goes, yeah, I did. And it wasn't a problem. I'm like, well, I'm still not going. And then she's like, well, you never want to go do anything with my friends. And my point was, yes. And I also don't want to do things with people that aren't your friends. In what world do you think it's okay if I constantly am telling you, no, I don't want to go out with you and people that I don't really know that are your friends? Why would I want to go out with people that you don't know that you met at a grocery store line? I was like, one of three things is going to happen. Either they're going to try to murder us, B, they're going to try to sell us Amway, or C, they're swingers. And I was like, and if they are swingers, she goes, yeah, that's not happening. I said, that's the only cool thing that could happen. The other two, murder and Amway, I said, I'm not going. And then therefore it turned into a whole thing because now I'm an ass. And I was like, why? Why am I an ass? For saying I don't want to go meet people that I have no idea who they are, that are weird enough that they invited you to go out simply because you're Asian and not even the same kind of Asian, and they met you at a grocery store checkout line.
Well, okay, a couple of thoughts here. One, what if they're Amway murdering swingers?
That's tough. Now, if it was one good
Do you get to
one,
do it before they kill you?
well, no, because I've been told that I'm not even allowed to do it.
Why not?
Well, that's what I said.
What if you go and then the other one is super hot? I mean, the female.
Yeah,
or maybe the male. I don't know what you're
either way.
into.
Yeah, I've already been told that can't happen. So you've now eliminated the only reason to go. The only reason to go. So I'm planting my feet, and I'm like, I am not going.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with you not going.
Yeah, not happening.
I wouldn't want to go either. I think that we as men and ladies, if you're listening, we should never volunteer our spouses for something.
Bingo.
Before asking them.
Bingo.
And that's universal. We should just. I would not do that to my wife. I'd be like, hey, you're coming on the. She's like, what? So I would always run something by her first. But it sounds to me like in this instance, she mistook what you said. You said you're not going. So she heard that as don't go alone.
Yeah.
So then you're gonna come with.
Yeah, that's not
as
happening.
Opposed to. See, I have no problem with her just go. Just go.
What would you say
care.
if
I'm not
she
going.
just wanted to go hang out with the woman and it wasn't a couples thing? Would you be like, whatever, I don't
who
care, or
cares?
like
Yeah, I don't
that's
care.
creepy, don't go?
Well, I would say that's creepy, don't go. But, I'm like, whatever. You want to go hang out with someone randomly you met at a grocery store. Who am I to tell you no? But showing up at some couple's house?
But so it's just you getting dragged into it that you really don't like.
Yeah, and so she was like, well, what was I supposed to do? Say no. I was like, just say we can't make it. And she goes, they're going to keep calling us. We don't know them. Don't respond.
You also don't have to take their calls.
Here's the thing.
Is she the type that doesn't say no?
Yes. She doesn't even really want to go.
Okay.
She feels
Well, see,
obligated.
this is information we needed.
So she has a guilt thing going on.
Yes.
Yeah, she got in a conversation that
Yes.
she did not know how to get out of, and so she's like, "Hey, yeah, sure, let's do that. Here's my number. Let's go have drinks." Thank God I'm out of that conversation.
Yes.
But then
They followed up.
They followed up.
Yeah, and she responds, I said, just block their number. And she goes, they live in the neighborhood. I'm going to see them again. No, you won't. You haven't seen them before now. What are the chances of seeing them again?
Hey, we called you. Sorry, we've been really busy. It's not that bad.
New phone, new number. Who dis? Sorry, nothing I can do. And now I'm being roped into this on a Friday? No. Not happening. She doesn't want to go. She just got guilted into it. And you know what this means? They're going to sell us a Kirby vacuum. I guarantee it. They found someone that they feel is gullible and can't say no, and they're going to try to sell us a Kirby vacuum. And I told her, I said, if you force me to go to this, which I'm not going to, but if this really turns into a thing, and I'm like, if I show up and they try to sell me something, I'm like, there is going to be an issue. I'm like, I will cause a scene. And she's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, yes, I can.
Yeah.
I will absolutely cause a scene.
If they befriended her just to sell you guys something, then you should cause a scene.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I normally I think you should mind your own business way more than you do. But in this instance, I would, all bets are off, especially if it's a Kirby thing. Buckley, have you ever had the Kirby?
I don't know what that is.
Dude, the vacuum cleaner? Mm-mm. Dude, buckle up.
Yes.
And do not let them into your house.
No.
Do not.
They won't leave.
Jeez. They will not leave,
No.
dude. It is a real thing.
Yeah.
If somebody comes to your door, goes for anybody. Buckley, anybody that's never experienced this. If the Kirby vacuum sales gal,
this is some serious fear mongering.
Dude, no, it's true. I am not exaggerating. If they come to your door,
they won't leave.
And you let them into your house for the demo,
it's like a vampire.
They will not leave.
No.
And by the way, they will bring another person in.
Yes.
So what happens if you say you need to leave now?
It doesn't
matter. They have all the lines. They call the closer.
What?
Seriously,
What is
dude.
this?
Buckley, I had to rile up my dog to get them to leave.
What?
This was.
I mean, they'll eventually leave. Look, there's a
I've
fine
never
line between.
heard of this.
Dude, it's insane.
Okay.
I got trapped in it once. My wife was gone, and I was home alone. And they came. I'm like,
someone said they had to
we
threaten
need a vacuum.
This person said they had to threaten to call the police.
Yes. If you
it's that level.
If you threaten to call the police, I would imagine
What
they
kind
will
of
leave.
business model is that?
But of course, most people are nice. I didn't want to do that.
And they rely or prey on people's
Yes.
guilt.
And that's what
correct.
I think's happening here. I think these Asian people know that other Asian people are so nice that they're gullible that you get the number.
Say yes to these
Say
social
yes to it.
meetings.
Say yes to some sort of social meeting, and now we're getting sold Cutco, a Kirby, some sort of Amway. Yeah. Which is why they had to be
Well, now
like,
you gotta
wait,
go. Now you gotta
wait,
find out.
Is your partner Asian? And I think they were a little skeptical knowing that I'm not, because they got to believe that I'm not nice enough. It's a whole thing.
Well, we were asking the question, should a flag be thrown on BTJ here?
Yes.
I don't think one should, unless it comes out that she volunteered you to go. Like, it sounds like there was a miscommunication.
Oh, no, I was volunteered to go.
But you told her not to go alone.
Yes.
So she was going to go alone. And so that's where I'm picking up the flag. Because if she goes alone, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, until she gets murdered.
Well, but you can't just you're not in control of her, you toxic man. She can do whatever the hell she wants.
Well, she can, which means she can go by herself on Friday and not me.
So she goes, that's fine. If she volunteered you to go without you saying, don't go alone, then that's a flag.
Well, at this
we
point,
shouldn't do that.
And at this point, here's the thing. I said, just go. And she goes, no, you said I was going to get murdered. And now she thinks that
now you should say just go.
That's what I did. And now she's like,
you'll be fine.
And now she's like, no, because now I've put it in her head that something nefarious may happen. But here's the thing.
Yeah, but now it's on her.
But now it's on, yeah. So if something nefarious is going to happen, now we both get murdered?
She wants it on both of you.
No. This is just...
So
big protector's got to be
she
there.
She goes on that date with those weirdo Amway murderers.
Yeah.
Who happen to be swingers.
Mm-hmm.
You sleeping well at night, she dies? Probably not, fella.
I just don't like that. I felt that the compromise was that the swingers should be on the table. If we go and it turns out to be a swinger thing, at that point it's like the Amway thing. We're already there. But no, she took the one cool thing off the table. I think that's very unfair of her.
The text line is saying it. I think now you have to go just for the show's curiosity. We got to find out.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
what if they're selling nothing?
There's no way.
What if they're your future best friends?
Yes,
No.
that's what I was about to say. What if they're wonderful?
Neighborhood folks, you all get
on,
along,
man.
same age range.
Quit being an ass.
I'll tell you what. I'll admit, last night I didn't handle this well. I was an ass. At one point,
tell.
Yeah, I did not handle it.
Controlling your girlfriend, like you can't do that. You will not do that. I do not permit you to do that.
I said, don't go. You're gonna get murdered. But it was not. I just don't understand the logic of, well, you never want to go do stuff with me and my friends, therefore I volunteer you to go do stuff with strangers? How is that? In what way did you make the jump from A to B? So I said, that's just terrible. You thought I would think that the one's terrible. Wouldn't I think that the other one is that much worse?
It's just a safer scenario for her.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
I think you should go. We got to run.
You're not even willing to throw the flag anymore.
No, I don't think it's a flag.
This is ridiculous.
But I do think it's a flag when you volunteer your spouse for something.
I was volunteered.
Oh, good idea from the text line. Did Ortner set this up to murder you and wear your skin? Did he hire some hit people?
Some Asian hit people.
You knew the BTJ was a good target?
Right in the butt.
Yeah, like if I just found a bunch of Norwegians, I'd be like, hey, we're going to hang out with some Norwegians. You're Swedish. Oh, Scandinavian. Except the sad part is if I told her that, she'd probably think it's great. She's like, good, let's go. Gosh.
All right, we got to run. In the News is coming up next. Here's Buck.
This is a U.S. Open week.
Significant Mariner news coming up on the Hot 5 at 5. Right now, though, June 11, 2024, time for In the News. I'm your noted and beloved newsman. Thank you, America. You may be seated.
I'm already right here. Just standing up would be weird.
Today is Cousteau Day. I assume that means Jacques Cousteau.
Love me some Jacques.
He was great. I used to watch him on Saturday mornings.
I love all those, like the Jacques Cousteaus of the world, the David Attenberrys.
Attenborough.
You want to ride this Jock? Let's go. Attenborough. The Jack Hannas to a lesser extent. But like anyone that, like I know that those guys were made money, but they weren't necessarily rich. But I think about if you had to pick someone's life that you could live, you could do a lot worse than one of those guys. Think about what they saw. This big old world, I love to travel. Those guys probably had some of the most richest just lives and experiences and saw more than just about anything. Amazing the stuff that those guys got to see and do.
Yeah, he was of course French. He was a Navy
He was a Navy officer.
Oceanographer, wrote a couple books, made some films.
1910 to 1997.
But what I know him from is every Saturday morning he would have his 30-minute, or maybe it was an hour, but I think it was 30-minute show on whatever channel, and he'd flip that thing on, and he'd be going deep diving and showing you cool stuff.
Different parts of the world.
It is also Pizza Margarita Day.
Oh.
And I do love a margarita pizza.
Wait, so Margarita Pizza Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have it as
Pizza Margarita.
Pizza Margarita.
Oh, because that's how the Italians, they do the adjective afterwards? Is that how
Yeah,
that works?
perhaps.
I do like it, but I never order it.
Yeah, see, I it's a go-to pizza for me.
Is it?
Anymore? I wish we had that when we were kids, but we didn't.
Yeah, there's always
We had meat lovers.
there's always a more interesting pizza for me. Yeah, and look, I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of interesting pizzas out there.
Sometimes I do have a meat lovers, but if you go to like an artisan place that's gonna have a good margarita pizza, they usually have some pretty cool stuff going on.
Yeah. There's a lot of options. There's no
There
doubt about
is.
that.
Yeah.
All right, I have some audio here. This is one of my favorite stories of the year so far. Never mind. Buck's falling asleep in the
We have
wheel.
audio, but we don't have it.
Well, apparently it takes an hour to transfer it over, so. Okay, not an hour. He says next segment. So in our next segment,
Just,
we will have great audio.
move that to the end. And
What
move
I
on.
believe to
Yeah.
be great audio. It pertains to Loud Muffler Guy.
Oh,
So
right up your alley.
Loud Muffler Guy, stay tuned, you little bitch.
I had Loud Muffler Guy today. Scared the living hell out of me.
Exactly.
Well, I was on my bike, and
They're obnoxious.
Loud Muffler Guy zipping by you on the bike is it's quite alarming.
A Lake Oswego dad who said he spiked fruit smoothies with his prescription sedatives because he wanted his daughter and her 3 friends to just go to bed during a sleepover last summer
Worst excuse ever.
has been sentenced to 2 years in prison.
Yeah.
Michael Maiden, 57 years old. He's going to jail.
Yeah, the families were pushing for 10.
Yeah.
But the judge gave him 2, and it looks like he may get 5 months for good behavior as well, which I actually think is really light. You know this son of a bitch was trying to diddle kids. I love the excuse of you drug. His idea was, he said that he had the sleepover. He wanted them in bed by 10:30, asleep at 11, so they could wake up refreshed and fun the next day. And so you drugged them?
Well, that's just something you say in court.
Exactly. And then you went down and you were shaking them and putting your finger under their nose to make sure they were asleep. Sure, bud. That's what you were doing. You were drugging them so they got a good night's sleep, you perv.
That was a creepy story for sure.
Yeah, it was. And luckily, one of the girls didn't drink enough of the smoothie, and so she
called her parents.
She managed to stay up, and then was texted her parents pleading because she was terrified. And
Well, the parents showed up at the house, and he still wouldn't let him in.
No, dude, that guy. I'm sorry. Even if he serves the full 2 years, and he's not going to be convicted, he's not going to be a sex offender. I don't think. There was nothing in there that I read from the charges that would put him as a sex offender registry list. And he tried to claim that he was sorry and that his life was ruined. Dude, he should have something happen besides you going to prison for 16 months.
What do you suppose his daughter thinks of him now?
Hope she has a real good idea what an absolute piece of crap this guy is. He's trying to rape her friends. allegedly. What an and they were like 12 years old too. What an absolute slime. I hope something happens to that guy.
All right. Well, we're transferring audio, and we're going to give it to you next, okay? We've got big, hot Seattle loud muffler guy news next on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports. A view into today's top stories. Brought to you by Window Nation. Online at windownation.com.
Cal Raleigh swinging a well-hit ball. Deep to right field. Going. Graham, get out the right bread and mustard. It is grand salami time. A walk-off grand slam.
Wait a minute. I didn't hear that. That must have been the radio call. By the way, the TV
Correct.
call, Sims was wrong about. He was like 3-run home run. Dude,
grand slam.
are you watching the game?
Look,
But can you say that? That's Niehause's line. You can't say that.
I think it's an homage.
I know it's an homage, but I don't like it.
Yeah, you know what I like?
Retire it.
The big dumper with a walk-off granny.
I didn't know that guy did that. Who's that guy?
Rick Riz?
Yeah,
Is that Riz?
Yeah, I was gonna assume that's still Riz, right? Doing the radio calls.
I don't like that. Window into Sports brought to you by Window Nation. This month, receive 50% off all windows, no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% off through June 30th. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
The home of
All right, we have time for one more story here on In the News, June 11. One quick follow-up before we get to that, though. Somebody on the Vancouver Ford text line said, my buddy who is a prison guard says those things work themselves out behind the gates.
Yeah.
The prisoners do not take kindly to things with kids, and they take care of them. Yeah, I and a couple of people have said that, and that is true from what, I mean, I don't know that, but that's what they say.
Yeah.
I have a sneaky suspicion this Lake O guy has a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And
He's
lawyers.
He's going to have some sort of protected custody.
Yeah, he won't be in Gen Pop.
I just don't like it. I guess you don't have proof of it, but does anyone for 1 second buy that he drugged a bunch of 12-year-old girls because he wanted them to go to sleep and then went down and checked on them?
Well, the judge bought it.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. This guy should be doing way more than 2 years.
It just blows
but-
my mind. Exactly. Like who? This is what they came up with, and the parents were pleading. Like, read the article. They said that some of these girls are like really damaged and like they are messed up from this. And one of the girls, it was her best friend's dad. And it was like, how am I supposed to ever trust an adult again? This son of a bitch.
I am told by the text line, I can admit when I'm wrong, Rick Riz and Niehaus were very close friends, and apparently Niehaus said the phrase belongs to the Mariners, not me.
Okay.
So he gave him permission. That makes it different.
There you go.
I didn't know Riz was saying that. I don't listen to enough Mariners on the radio.
I can't say that I do either.
But I'm not in love with just using someone else's. You come up with your own.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
But in this instance, it sounds like Niehaus was like.
But Wheels, if he was blessed, it would be weird for him to do a bingo, bango, bongo sort of thing. You got to come up with your own
and
boom
he did.
shakalaka.
Yeah, he came up with his own.
Boom shakalaka.
Like a real broadcaster.
Look at you taking shots.
With actual hair.
Wow. Double shots at Rick Riz.
Although I don't think Wheeler does have actual hair, does he? Does he have a...
No, Wheels has hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a two-minute piece here. This is from Como in Seattle.
New video shows the driver of the Belltown Hellcat talking with police after he was pulled over in downtown Seattle for speeding on Yesler Way. The city wants to fine that driver more than $80,000 for violating noise ordinances. Como's Hannah Knowles reports.
Police body camera video captures Seattle police officers pulling over Miles Hudson.
What's going on, man?
The man behind this Dodge Charger, also known as the Belltown Hellcat.
Wake them up. Wake up!
People who live in Seattle say Hudson's car is more than just a nuisance. It's a threat to public safety.
I mean, if he's driving 107 miles per hour in downtown, that's putting people's lives at risk. So, I mean, what are we waiting for, him to kill someone?
If it's essentially wildly outside of factory, it's an issue.
In the police body camera video, a Seattle police officer who's also a certified automotive technician notes the exhaust of the Charger is illegally modified, creating an exceedingly loud noise that is equivalent to gunshots or fireworks. Prosecutors charged Hudson with reckless driving, and then the city sued him, ordering him to fix the car's exhaust.
Glad you guys are out here because, man, he is the loudest possibly be there. Yeah. So you live there? Yeah, I live in that building right there, third floor. We hear that.
But now court records show the city says Hudson hasn't fixed the car or responded to their lawsuit against him. And the city is now seeking a staggering $1,300 for every day the car isn't in compliance with the city's noise ordinance.
But you know how much more popular it would be if you were doing it on a track?
I mean, I got almost 700,000.
What's that?
Hannah Knowles, Como News.
Hudson was supposed to reply to the city's lawsuit in court by May 30th, but the city says he missed that deadline. He has two court hearings scheduled now, one on June 12th, the other on June 18th.
This is your dream
Justice. That's right.
Yes.
By the way, Hannah Knowles was so disgusted. Did you hear how she signed off of that? Hannah Knowles.
Unbelievable.
You gonna go up to his court hearing tomorrow?
Dude, I'm gonna be the judge on that court hearing, and that SOB better watch out.
80 G's.
That's a lot.
That is it.
But hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. Justice. You can't be doing that. Did you hear what the cop said? Anything wildly outside of factory?
Yeah.
That is a ticket.
But did you hear what the kid said? He's got 700,000 followers, so
That's
he's
right,
got to do it.
He's got Hellcat, man. 700,000 followers.
People like him He needs to go to jail with the Lake Oswego guy.
Same thing.
It's on par.
Drunken kids,
It's on par.
loud mufflers.
These people are awful. If you're a loud muffler guy, it's absurd. It serves no one. It makes everyone upset and frustrated. It's annoying. You're annoying. You're a loser.
Can you
get over it?
Can you write like you can write letters of like sympathy for people like in court? Can you write like a victim statement about how you've been traumatized by this?
Yeah, they call them a victim impact statement.
Victim impact statement.
I'll go up there. If they need me to. I know because these guys, like, it's one thing to have muffler problems.
Sure.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
These are the guys that I'm talking about.
about
These
that-
dudes who go out of their way to make sure that their S wakes everyone up at 7 o'clock in the morning when they're going to their SE job in their SE car.
The sound of a gunshot. I mean, you could hear it. That thing is loud.
Why? Why? How insecure are you?
Why not? Fun, loud toys.
And then Buckley showed me a clip earlier today of this is old from San Francisco, but it was, what do they call that?
The whistle tips?
Yeah, whistle tips. Have you ever heard of that?
What is the whistle
tip?
It's another muffler modifier, basically.
They go to these shops and they put a whistle. They put just a piece of metal with a hole in it in the muffler, and it makes the muffler whistle.
Oh my gosh!
Again, waking everyone up.
So you're just trying to be a douchebag.
Yes.
But to that driver's defense, he said it's only in the morning that it would wake people up, and you're already supposed to be up cooking breakfast or something.
Yeah, and he said it's like an alarm. Woot woot! I mean, these people, they should all go to jail, all of them.
I'm looking up his Instagram as we speak.
I'm sure it's wonderful.
I'll bet you it's awesome.
Well, it's nice to see them cracking down on loud muffler guy up there in Seattle. All right?
I loved it.
You've got an advocate down here.
Oh, yeah, I see it right here. 759,000 followers. Boy, you should see the Hellcat, man. It's painted like a jungle cat.
Somebody else said worse than muffler guy is extreme subwoofer guy. And he is not worse because while obnoxious, subwoofer guy, at least it's just inside. It's like hurting his ears more than anybody else's.
Yeah, but have you seen subwoofer guy who goes and like sets off alarms on other people's cars in parking lots because the vibration is so significant?
Yes, I get it. Like extreme, if it's really extreme, it's maybe just as bad. But the muffler, there is nothing worse than the over loud truck or motorcycle.
What's
or car.
fascinating is
it's just the worst.
The psyche. Someone saying he works at Toyota at the Port of Portland, and there's a bunch of young dudes who have the same thing with their cars and they rev.
Yeah.
What
does that do for you?
I would love to talk to loud muffler guy.
Status, bro.
Yeah, I would love to know.
No, it's not.
Does it make your penis big? Like, do you think that the chicks are into it? What is?
Dude, I have asked car people this question over and over and over.
I do feel like it's
real car people.
Right, but I feel like it's in the same realm as people who have to have their trucks lifted so much higher than you could actually utilize.
Yes,
and like
it is.
There's a lot of
Again,
overlap there.
Real car people say, "Oh, dude, that's not a thing. No
Yeah,
one
you
cares
wouldn't do
about
that.
Well, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid." These are extra douchey people.
Yeah. It's
on another plane.
I just am interested because I'm looking at this guy's Instagram page, and I'm telling you, he drives around in a mask. He dresses up. His outfit is. Boy, I can't think of a person on the planet that you would dislike more than the guy that's driving this Hellcat.
Hey, I don't discriminate. Anybody driving a car like that sounds like that,
yeah,
I've got a problem with you.
Yeah.
And it's a serious one.
It's fascinating.
I take noise ordinances seriously.
Boy, apparently he shoots water pellets at people from his car as well.
Yeah. All right, let's
water
get out of
pellets, like out of a gun?
Have you seen the? It's like a paintball gun, but it shoots water balls.
It seems like a good way to piss people off.
So apparently, this is trust me, dude. Everything about this jackass on his.
Look at me!
Yeah.
Look at me!
Yes.
F
Loser.
you! Look at me! What a loser!
Yes. Got a lot of people follow him, and you know he loves that.
That's in the news, June 11, 2024. Late-breaking Mariner news, part of the Hot 5 at 5. Next on The Fan.
Aloha, it's Marcus from the 808 with big news. Brah, 808, my favorite Hawaiian restaurant from when I'm missing home is
All right, pleased to have you along. Good Tuesday. Rob and Zook. So.
I spent the entire break roaming that guy's Instagram.
Oh my God! You showed me that. What is his name?
He is SRT Miles,
dude.
Because that's the car. I'm assuming his name is Miles.
Yeah, but he wears you're right. He's got a whole bit. Like
yeah, he wears outfits.
Sounds like an influencer.
Yeah, well, he's got. Again, everything he does is a bit, and he's engaged right now in the summer splat wars, where him and similarly minded people with their jungle cars drive around and shoot each other with the splat guns.
Sounds safe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, that could be worse.
Better
right?
than shooting with a real gun, right?
Exactly. So I give him credit for that. Well,
yeah,
I don't know about credit.
Zooming around shooting guns.
Well, these are the same people
even if
that
they're not real.
Aren't
great.
these the same people that street race?
Yes.
Like these are these douchebags who.
Well, he wears the mischief boots. You know those rubber like Sonic boots.
Oh, those stupid ones that people started wearing courtside earlier this year.
And everywhere he goes, he rides a.
Dude.
What are the little Segway things?
Now, wouldn't those affect your driving?
The
those
hover
big boots.
I'm telling you, I'm on this guy's Instagram page, and if I had to create a composite of a human being that Isaac Robb would hate,
yes,
more than any other, I could piece together parts from all over the world, 1,000 different people.
Yes,
I would create this guy.
Yes. He's got the Super Douche starter pack.
It's not even a starter pack. He's the final boss.
He's the king, dude.
Yes.
He's the king.
He is when you beat the douche video game, and if you think it's over, he is the Mike Tyson of douchebag punch.
He's the boss. He's the final boss.
He is the final boss.
Unbelievable.
I can't get over it.
And here's a text that says, "Well, really piss you off about this guy is he can probably write his car off as a business expense if he is an influencer." Don't tell me that.
Yeah, I wonder if any of the car companies will pay his fines as well.
Well, dude's gonna have to. Let's see. He acts like he's got a lot of money. There's a lot of photos of him flashing $100 bills. So let's see. If
so you know it's good.
Let's see if he comes up with 80 G's.
All right, coming up this hour, we have Xander Schauffele talking about golfing with Michael Jordan.
That's a great story.
We have where Oregon's offensive units rank according to the. Well, I don't know, like experts isn't the right word, but like the top. I don't know, the top people that do that thing, the experts.
Just go with that. The experts.
I don't know. And then
you got stuck there.
There's an MLB player anonymous poll. The Athletic always does this.
Sure.
They do the anonymous poll, so players can be honest.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you who they voted as the most overrated player.
Oh.
And the teams that nobody wants to play for.
Those are always kind of fun to see. Like they do this in the NFL, and like the Patriots got drug around. And I always thought that was like a great organization.
Yeah, wasn't it like Belichick was the coach in the league you'd least want to play for or something like that?
That's not that surprising. But there were some other ones like Pittsburgh got drug a little bit because you always hear that's a great organization and people were taking shots at them. And
I just remember thinking it was weird because it was like they were dragging the Patriots culture, and the Patriots have been banging the culture drum forever about like how great it is in that building.
Well, that's just because they win.
Right.
But it's not
but
that.
The player don't like it.
Well, yeah, the players don't like it. I mean, every one of them, all the prominent players from that culture bitched about it.
Yeah. It's just that when you win.
Yeah, when you win, it's like that's what you do. That's what it takes.
But that's what happens. And then we wonder, like, why does everyone tear it down when it's over? Because the only reason you put up in the first place is that you won. But as soon as you stop winning, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, the Chiefs got dragged pretty hard.
Yeah, the Chiefs were the other one that we think of as like this great organization. But the Hunts, the people that own it, I guess are a bunch of cheap a-holes. It's just they got Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes.
Isn't it interesting the two winningest teams are like when you think of like, I don't know, you're going to say the word dynasty.
Yeah.
Over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
They're both the ones that nobody wants to play for.
Just goes to show you, man. You get a coach and a quarterback, everything else kind of works itself out. You know what I mean?
Coach and a quarterback?
Coach and a QB.
You're telling me that matters?
Little bit. Like a chip and a putt, man. You do it well, you're going to have some success.
Does that make it wild that Doug Peterson and Nick Foles won the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I want you to think about that.
Well, the people to have beaten that Patriot dynasty.
Yeah.
Eli Manning and Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
And Doug Peterson
Nick
Foles.
It's crazy.
Go figure.
Coming up tonight in the club, where are all the aliens at? and a shocking new study. But right now, the hot 5 at 5.
Hot topics, hot opinions.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
And hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Sue. Brought to you on The Fan by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victorricos.com. Number 5.
Turns out Washington basketball coach Mike Hopkins. By the way, who did the Huskies hire?
The sprinkler.
Oh, that's
from,
right.
From Utah State, which is how they got the player of the year.
Right.
We got the sprinkler. Well, we don't anymore, but we would have the sprinkler and the tinkler.
Yeah, the old coach, Mike Hopkins from Washington, he is headed to be a part of the Mike Budenholzer staff in Phoenix.
Oh.
So he's going to the pros.
Remember when he came over and that was like going to be this great hire and he was Boeheim's right-hand
Yeah, you got
guy?
the Boeheim heir apparent. He's going to win a bunch of championships and stuff.
Did he did the matchup zone thing there too?
Yeah.
In Washington?
Yeah, it was his whole thing. He was going to bring it to Washington and it did not... Didn't work out great.
I'll tell you what, man. I got a lot of Jim Boeheim. There's another sports douche, but I got a lot of respect for how they played.
Yeah,
all those years, man.
Absolutely.
They were so tough.
Hopkins went to
so
the
different.
He went to the tournament one time.
Yeah, he was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not terrible, but
Yeah, it wasn't good.
It was pretty terrible.
Outside of that 1 year where they won the conference, the regular season, they never finished better than 6th. His entire time there in the Pac-12. Not exactly, the Big 12 either.
Two-time major champion John Rahm is out of the U.S. Open. He cut his foot between his two little toesies, and it got infected. Tee times are out. Top 3 favorites are Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, and Rory McIlroy, and they will all dance together in the first 2 rounds.
Tasty.
They will tee at 10:15 a.m. our time on Thursday. Tiger Woods is paired with Will Zalatoris and Matt Fitzpatrick. Another feature group includes Justin Thomas, Brooks Koepka, and Colin Morikawa.
And Tiger did say, strong enough, healthy enough to win. So, yeah, he's not going to. But
he will never not say that.
No.
That man does not have it in him to say anything other than that.
He's like the Monty Python guy. It's just a flesh wound. Tiger, you got screws sticking out of your leg. I'm fine.
Did you hear the Rory news?
No.
No more divorce. Calling it off. Patching things up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he was with Balionis.
That's what everybody thought.
You think he just did that and then went out and had some fun and then was like, hey, we were on a break?
Needed a fling thing.
Now
and
you're back? That's a great idea. Boy, that Rory's an innovator.
Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, unexcused absence from minicamp today. Coach there, Robert Saleh, said he had a prior engagement that was important to him, but he is subjected to a fine.
Yeah, Saleh was pretty pissed off about the whole thing.
Yeah, he's...
Well,
what do you think of Robert Saleh?
I don't know. Because, he had such a good reputation. He's done nothing in New York, but it's not his fault. He hasn't had a quarterback. The defenses have been good, but you're kind of running out of excuses. It's kind of put up or shut up time.
The Niners' latest offer to wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is in the $26 million a year range.
He said nay.
That would be good for 8th highest paid receiver in the league.
Yeah, it was behind St. Brown, obviously behind Jefferson, and Ayuk's,
it was right around the Cooper Kupp range.
Yeah, and Ayuk's good, but
I think he wants more than St. Brown.
He's not the best receiver in the league. And he is saying now that the idea was that he wanted out, and he's saying all the right stuff. No, I want to be in San Francisco, but please give me, $28 million.
Celtics big man Kristaps Porzingis suffered a rare injury in Game 2 of the Finals. They are saying he could be done for the series, although they only list him day to day. The injury is described as a torn medial retinaculum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon in his left leg.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Anyone besides me realize that the NBA injuries now are it's no longer you got an ACL strain, you got what it is.
They get very specific.
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell
we did not
happening
need
here.
any of that.
Yeah.
Just say he hurt his foot.
He's got
his ankle.
He's got a problem in his leg, and it doesn't sound like he's going to
Yeah, they called it a rare leg injury. That would have been fine.
Yeah, he said that he's
not going to.
He said he's going to try to lie his way into, but if the trainers don't let him, which is code for it, you're not playing the rest of the series.
This amidst news, Mavs star Luka Doncic received a pain-killing injection to numb the area of his thoracic contusion before Game 2. He is likely to get another one of those before Game 3.
Again, thoracic contusion? Good Lord.
Yeah, what is that? Is that like just a body, like
a bruise to your abdomen, to your
like
thorax?
just I don't know.
Well, a contusion, right? I mean,
contusion, bruise.
So he's got a bruise on his ribs?
Thoracic, your
thoracic.
chest
I'm assuming
cavity.
it's in your chest, ribs, something in your sternum. He's got a bruise.
And the Mariners have lost starter Brian Wu. You know, Wu is off to the best start for a starting pitcher in Mariners history. Did you know that?
Oh, he's killing it. I didn't know it was the best in
Ever.
in Mariner history.
I didn't realize till I looked at his numbers today.
Dude,
They are
ridiculous.
stellar.
Dude, his ERA in his first 6 starts is 1.07.
Yeah.
Which is lower than Randy Johnson in 1995. But he was scratched tonight against the White Sox. He has an elbow injury, and the dreaded MRI is to come. Now, you should know that he has already had Tommy John surgery back in 2021.
Of course he has. Just
so, hold your breath.
On the plus side, their pitching staff is just ridiculous. But yeah, anytime you get one of your guys and you have to have the old MRI on the elbow, everyone is holding their breath.
And a blow to the first place Phillies. They lose catcher JT Realmuto. He is going to have meniscus surgery, and they say 4 to 6 weeks, the typical recovery time on that one. The Hot 5 at 5 brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. Where Oregon's offensive units rank heading into the season. Next on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube, Twitch,
Dylan Gabriels and the Will Howards of the world because they're proven commodities.
So here's who they have. So McCord did leave. They added, they added Will Howard, Kansas State.
Yeah.
Freshman Julian Sayin, who transferred to Ohio State after briefly enrolling in Alabama. They also have Air Noland, who sounds awesome, but I know nothing about him. Redshirt sophomore Devin Brown and redshirt freshman Lincoln Kineholes each stayed at Ohio State, despite speculation they could look elsewhere. So they are saying Ohio State has 5 or more scholarship quarterbacks on its roster for the first time since 2015, when they had 6. And we all remember they had J.T. Barrett, Cardell Jones, Braxton Miller, Joe Burrow, Stephen Collier, and Torrance Gibson.
That's just the stupidest, like,
that is nuts.
Yeah, the ridiculous amount of talent. And by the way, Burrow couldn't get on the field.
Yeah, so
I'm surprised that
Oregon 3rd, 2nd, and 4th quarterback rating.
I'm surprised no Alabama on that because, Milroe had a pretty good year last year. Took him to the doorstep right against Michigan.
Well, Alabama's next.
Okay.
So Phil Steele has Alabama 4, Pro Football Focus has Alabama 5, and Athlon has Alabama 5.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
And then there's your friends at Colorado.
I don't know who they have besides Shadur Sanders. I have no idea. But I'm guessing it was all in the transfer portal.
Okay, running back units. Oregon is not on Phil Steele's top 10.
Really?
Nope. But they are 7th for Pro Football Focus.
Yeah, and this may be one where it's just a depth thing. So I'm sure some of those squads run 5 deep, and I don't know what Oregon has is, when you're going down 3rd and 4th, but I think Jordan James is a really good back, and Whittington is back, who was hurt all last year. That's a good 1-2 punch.
And if you saw the transfer they brought in, I think he was like a Division II kid.
Is
a beast.
Is that the Jay Harris kid?
Jay Harris. They did their photo day. He is massive. So he'll be their big back.
Yeah, he's like a 220 guy, and he played at
6'2", 220, something like that.
Northeast, wherever, I forget. But yeah, they're supposedly high on him. So I don't know what they have behind that, but I just we know the 1-2 punch, and that's a good 1-2 punch that Oregon has.
So they're 7th, and they are not in the top 10 of Athlon. Ohio State, the consensus number 1, all 3, because they have 2 of the top 10 running backs in the country.
Yeah, that helps.
In Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then wide receiver, Oregon has the consensus number 1.
There you go.
Unit in the country. Phil Steele has him 1, Pro Football Focus has him 1, and Athlon has him 1.
See, that's pretty cool. When you pair that with an NFL tight end, and Ferguson is going to be an NFL tight end, and what you have coming back, because you got Trayshawn Holden, Evan Stewart, the transfer from Texas A&M.
Tez Johnson is back.
Tez Johnson's back, and then you still have Gary Bryant Jr., Casper, who is another one of your recruits. I mean, that's a loaded squad, but I mean, just the idea of Tez Johnson, what he brings back, but then Holden and Stewart, which were massive transfers, and Evan Stewart, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was the number 1 transfer wide receiver in the portal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a bevy of riches.
Well, just, depth.
Yeah.
All over the place there. And then on offensive line, Oregon ranks 3rd. Oh, by the way, just to tell you, the wide receiver units that are behind Oregon, Missouri, Ole Miss, and Ohio State.
It's weird.
Depending on which one you look at.
It's weird that, Alabama has been there for so many years, and Ohio State eventually finally ran out of, because I feel like for the last 6 years, Ohio State and Alabama it's been 9 first-rounders on their squads.
Well, Ohio State, I got to tell you, Oregon looks pretty good on reading through this on these lists, but Ohio State is ranked higher.
Ohio State's always
They're just loaded.
They're always.
Offensive line, Phil Steele has Georgia 1, Texas 2, and Oregon 3. Pro Football Focus has Oregon 5th behind Bama, Georgia, LSU, and Texas. And then Athlon has Oregon 4th behind Georgia, LSU, and Texas.
Well, and this is why when we're talking about this Duck team, people say and by the way, the defense is, we'll have to look at this, but the defense is going to be the same thing.
Yeah, we haven't done. I'll keep an eye out for the composite of that.
The only thing I would say is maybe the linebacking core. I don't think it's going to be ranked in there, but it's one of the better defensive lines in the country. I guarantee that's going to be top 5, top 6 for everyone, and the secondary is going to be that way too. Even though it's all a bunch of transfer kids, it's loaded with really, really good transfers. there's NFL guys at every level on both sides of the ball. This will be top to bottom. This will be the most talented Oregon team of all time. And that's why the expectations are what they are. So, and you're going to need it because the Big Ten schedule, that's tough. It's a murderer's row.
We have an anonymous player poll from Major League Baseball. Who do they think is the most overrated player? And what franchises do they least want to play for? That is next, but first, Buck with SportsCenter.
This is a U.S.
Major League Baseball players were polled anonymously by The Athletic recently. Always love these.
Yeah, you get to see what people actually think.
Well, not just people, what players
Yes, what players think.
Players are people too.
Well, they are, Buckley.
Can I also say, as far as players go, it really pains me to say it, but I love Bryce Harper.
Yeah?
I love
Why
him.
does that pain you?
Because I used to think he was such a douche.
He was in the douche category for a while.
And he's a Philly, and I want to hate the Phillies because the Mets suck, but I find the Phillies in general likable. I find Bryce Harper extremely likable. He might be my favorite non-Met, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm very conflicted. There's a lot of emotions going on.
Well, douches grow up.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just young.
Yeah. He seems like a cool dude.
I think he gets it now.
Yeah.
But he certainly has, or had, douchey tendencies.
Yeah.
No question. So they polled about 120 players. I think it's actually 122 total players, evenly split between leagues, all anonymous, so they could speak truthfully.
Yeah.
Or vote truthfully. Best player in the league. Not a shock.
I'm assuming Shohei Ohtani.
It was indeed Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. I mean,
but he only got 46% of the vote.
Okay. That's still what was the next closest.
Ronald Acuna Jr. came in second at 26.5%.
So there's still a giant gap there.
Yeah.
And it should be. I understand there's some jealousy and people think that, some people are overrated, but how are you going to make an argument that there's someone better than that guy?
And then you had Betts and Judge.
Yeah.
Most overrated player in MLB. 20%.
Interesting.
So it was they were a little split here. Juan Soto even got a vote
for most overrated player.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
boy, that's fascinating. But again, a lot of times, people that are really good. It wouldn't shock me if Ohtani was high on this list because when you're really good,
he is not.
People are going to take shots at you. I'm trying to think of who would be really overrated.
So here's what.
Oh, I'm going with De La Cruz.
He is on the list, but he's down a ways. And that's interesting.
He gets a lot of attention, and there's some big holes in his game.
Yeah, there are. I mean, he hits. I don't know what he's hitting right now, but he strikes out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 240 hitter, 230, something like that. Here's what the player said. There was one player that cast a vote for Juan Soto being overrated, and the player said, "Could be a spite pick, to be honest. I feel all he does is walk and hit singles and doesn't hit for power like he's portrayed. Okay. Also, not a good fielder."
All right, see, I was going to say, there's got to be someone that, there's always one person that takes a shot no matter how good you are.
Well, it's probably a pitcher who has his number.
Yeah.
He's like, that guy ain't that good.
Well, dude, someone's going to give him a buttload of money, and it may be the Mets.
Okay, so the most overrated player, according to players, is Jazz Chisholm.
Oh, which, if you don't know, he's toiling down there in Miami, and they stink to high heavens.
Yeah, he plays for the Marlins.
Is he having a good year? I haven't.
Well, he's okay.
I don't pay attention to the Marlins.
I think this comes from the fact that he was the cover boy for the show.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of players got pissed about that.
Yeah.
They put him on the video game cover, and he's not that. I mean, he's a decent player, but he's not that good.
Well, that's why I thought about De La Cruz, is because he gets a lot of attention, and he's flashy on the base pass, but, he's probably hitting 210. I gotta look this up. And
Chisholm probably 240. He's the same type guy. 240.
Chisholm is hitting 249, 9 and 31.
Yeah, not bad
for a garbage team.
Not bad.
What's De La Cruz hitting?
Not very good.
I'm gonna say under that.
Yeah, he's dynamite on the base pass, and you see a lot of highlights of him. But when you actually look at his numbers,
He's got a ton of steals.
Yeah.
He's an athletic freak too. He makes his throws across the diamond are always very impressive.
He is fun to watch.
Yeah, he's hitting 233.
Yeah.
And 11 home runs, 29 RBI. So kind of about the same.
But how many steals though? He's just.
Yeah, he's got 34.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing. He might steal 100.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that in years.
Sweats a lot.
Was the last time
of
we
bases.
Look that up there, research boy?
Last time we had 100 steals.
Yeah, was that? Do you have to go back to Ricky?
Gosh, 100 steals. No major player has swept 100 bases in a season since 1987, 109.
You do have to go back to Ricky.
It is not Ricky.
Willie McGee.
No, there's
Vince
only,
Coleman.
There you go. Vince. So 109.
God.
What year?
1987.
Other players listed as overrated. Anthony Rendon. He just sucks now. I don't even know
he's not
why.
any good.
Yeah. Other overrateds: Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, and Jack Flaherty.
Is it possible too that the shine has come off the Astros? Like,
well, Correa's in Minnesota now, but he hasn't done much.
Well, I was
since
thinking
Houston.
Bregman, but yeah.
And last but not least, the organizations that players least want to play for.
That you least want to play for. I'm going to say it's got to be the A's.
The A's are number one.
Yeah. I mean, why else?
Followed by the White Sox and the Rockies.
None of that's a surprise.
No. But then, the last two in the top 5 there.
Are my Giants in there?
The Giants are not. Why would you be worried about that?
That's been a thing this year. People have been talking about
They don't want to play for the Giants?
No, they're doing the whole everybody sees what's on TV and what's happening in the city there, and people don't want to go live there. They don't think it's safe. La 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 la.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's been
Okay,
a narrative. I think their own GM came out and said that's been a problem in luring free agents, which
really?
ticked off a lot of fans.
Like Aaron Judge didn't want to go play in that city?
He didn't say that specifically, but he said it's been a problem for them trying to lure talent.
Well, Seattle's way down there too. Like not a lot of players want to play in Seattle. The other two in the top 5 least want to play for the Angels.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
That does make sense.
But you're in Anaheim, so it's got to be really bad organizationally to not want to be there.
No, that organization's garbage.
Well, definitely, but
it's garbage. They have MVPs and they don't do jack squat. When's the last time the Angels were relevant? Hasn't Trout's been to the postseason one time, right?
Yep. I mean, they won the World Series against the Giants in 2002. That's the last time they were good.
And the 5th team?
Big market, small market.
Big.
Mets?
No, it's not the Mets.
The New York Mets.
The Mets?
Nobody wants to play for the Mets.
What's wrong with the Mets? Get you a bunch of money.
What do you mean what's wrong with the Mets? The players know what's wrong with the Mets. They don't want to go there. You want to play there?
I would have thought it'd be like the Marlins or the Rays.
The
Marlins are a mess, and no one wants to go play in Tampa.
I'm surprised it wasn't Tampa.
The Marlins, I bet, get a pass because guys want to live in Miami.
But that's why I thought Anaheim would get a pass because people want to live near L.A.
No, but it's near L.A. It's not L.A.
Yeah.
Tampa, I'm surprised Tampa's not.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I would have put
pretty
Tampa
good.
in the top 3 or 4. I know they're pretty good, but it's a...
Well, they're not this year, but they have been.
That you playing in that ballpark, Tampa's not a bad city, but, it's tax-free. But that's a bad fan base, worst stadium in the league besides the A's.
Top teams that players want to play for, and I was surprised by the number 1 team because they have, their contracts that they've signed with some of their players have been very club friendly.
Oh, well then I already know who you're talking about.
The Atlanta
Braves. It pisses
Braves.
me off. It's the stupid Braves. Every one of those jackasses signed a team-friendly deal, and they're all locked up.
Yeah.
Even though they're all getting hurt.
They're number 1.
They're all locked up for years.
And I can see why they're number 1 when you think a lot of guys want to live in Atlanta.
Sure.
And the Braves are really, really good.
Yeah. And it's always been known as a good organization for a long time. I'm assuming the Dodgers are up there.
The Red Sox are 2nd, Dodgers 3rd.
Red Sox 2nd, huh?
Rangers 4th. Yeah, I think Fenway has a
little allure to it. I just wondered, Boston, there's not a lot of African-American players, but the Latin players, you hear a lot of, for minorities, people don't want to be in Boston. I'm surprised. I wouldn't have guessed Boston being up there.
Then you have the Yankees and the Cubs.
Yeah. So it's basically all the major cities.
Except for the Mets.
And the Angels. People hate the Angels.
That's right. That from The Athletic, a Major League Baseball Players Anonymous poll. Up next, Xander Schauffele wants golf with Michael Jordan. It's 5:50 on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks
pitching tonight, and he's a fun watch. And I flipped over there. He's pitched 5 scoreless innings against the Cardinals. He has 7 strikeouts. But he's being upstaged because Miles Michaelis of the Cardinals has a no-hitter.
I'll be damned.
Through 5 1/3.
I was watching Phillies Red Sox. I didn't realize. I have to flip over to that.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
about the only thing that would make me watch the Pirates.
Right.
And the Cardinals, by the way.
Well, the Pirates, with this Jared Jones guy, is his name Jared Jones? I forget his first name, Jones, and Paul Skeens. Those 2 pitchers, man, if I'm a Pirates fan, I'm feeling good.
You got a little something going there?
Dude, hell yeah. They got a 1-2 combo. Those guys are nasty.
No, they got a better record than the Mets, but, they're last place in that division.
Are they?
Yeah, 31 and 34.
Yeah, but see, they're kind of close to 5. Isn't that whole division kind of mediocre outside of the Brewers?
Yeah, the Cardinals, again, are same record. The Cubbies, 32 and 34. Reds, 32 and 34. And then the Milwaukee Brewers, 39 and 27. So, yeah, you're right. Outside of Milwaukee, that entire division is the definition of, not a single team above 500 outside of that. And that's the same thing with the Mariners, right? I don't think the Rangers are above 500.
They're not.
Yeah, the Mariners are 38 and 30, and then 31 and 34 for the Rangers, 30 and 37 for the Astros, and then we know the Angels and the A's.
A little bit of audio here from Xander Schauffele, my guy.
Mm-hmm. He's now your guy?
Well, yeah, he won me money at the PGA.
Oh, and that's all that matters.
That's my guy.
He clearly.
That's my horsey.
Let's go.
And by the way, I'm on him again.
Are you?
Yeah.
Taking him to win, or just
I always
showing?
I take him. He is red hot right now. I mean, he's playing great, and of course, Scotty Scheffler's playing better. But everybody talks about Rory, and rightly so, past major champion times 4. But if you look at every tournament this year, Rory has never beaten Scotty. Xander just beat him at the PGA.
Well, and Xander was always that guy that was he had the label best and never have done it. But
Xander also didn't get arrested and charged with a felony.
That's true.
But Xander's playing great golf, and I think this course,
maybe Xander should get charged with a felony.
There's the idea.
He'll be good. But he's talking about golfing with Michael Jordan.
You played with MJ yet?
I have. Yeah.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Oh, no.
That's it?
No.
No, we both fired it at the same time.
He says it was fun.
We waited all that time, and that's the big clip?
We fired it off at the... So I hit it, and then Buck hit it, and that causes double audio, and you don't want double audio.
Please, after you.
That was dynamite.
You played with MJ yet?
I have. Yeah.
It's fun.
It is fun.
It's really hard to talk him.
I did my best. And then he beat me straight up, which was embarrassing.
What?
In the last 3 holes, yeah. I pancaked him and he on his stroke holes, and I started talking to him.
Yeah.
He got all quiet, focused, and then birdied like 15, 16 no strokes, beat me straight up, and I was like,
Weird. He came through when he needed to.
yeah, that's what I said.
God. He can putt.
Yeah, and shit.
Yeah.
And chip. Yeah, so Xander said, if it's hard to hear, he said, he beat me straight up. And then he said the last 3 holes. So I don't think Jordan's good enough to beat Schauffele straight up on 18
no,
holes.
well, that's what he said. He said he pancaked him on his stroke holes.
Yeah.
So, on the holes where he was giving Jordan strokes, he still beat him.
Yeah.
And so my guess is, you're giving him however many, let's say he's giving him 3 or 4 aside, and you're talking S, and then you get down to it, and Jordan's like, really?
So they played straight up the last 3 holes? Is that how I'm reading that?
That would be,
Yeah,
and he beat him.
That's exactly right. He says he beat me, and the guy goes, what? He goes, yeah, the last 3 holes.
Yeah.
And then he said, I started S talking to him. He started getting real quiet. And then, he like birdied 15, 16. Strokes, like no strokes, beat me.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's pretty fun.
MJ. Yeah, who knew he could just buckle down and come through in the clutch?
I think a lot of people might have.
Not this guy.
Not that guy.
By the way, Byron Masters, who sent me to the Masters for a second time.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the OG Masters Pete.
Pete.
But Byron has played in the same group of guys with Michael Jordan.
Really?
Yes, in Florida at his he's got that new course. Jordan famously, I don't know what course it was, but he was a member at a course, really highfalutin place in Florida, obviously. And they didn't like his music.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jordan kind of party golfs, but he plays for big money. But he's got his cigars.
Kind of a bro golfer.
Cigar, got the music. There's a lot of guys.
Turns
that are
up a
doing
little
that
bit.
now.
Yeah, and they didn't like his music, so he just built his own course. Did you know that?
No, but that's phenomenal.
It's called the Grove,
and he can do what he wants.
He does whatever he owns it.
Dude, I love Jordan's pettiness. He's like, really, you don't like me smoking my cigar and playing my music? Cool, I'll just build my own. I've got a couple $1 billion. Well,
So
he's a 1.9 according to
Jordan's a 1.9
according to internet right now. Looked it up. Yeah,
that's good. He's a hell of a player.
Yeah, I would say 1.9.
That guy can golf.
Yeah.
And so Byron Masters played in the same. He wasn't in the foursome with Jordan, but Jordan was a part. He had a friend that was part of the whole group, and he got when I was playing golf with Byron at Langdon, and he had a Michael Jordan logoed ball marker, and I asked him about it. He said, "There's only one way you can get that ball marker.
Beat him, huh?
No, from him.
Oh,
he handed it, so he has them."
I was just wondering if you get him, is that
God, no.
is that his concession where he gives you one?
Well, I think you remember this story that Michael Holton used to tell about beating Jordan at pool.
Yeah, it did not go well.
Well, so Michael Holton, former Blazer, role guy, player in the NBA, he got traded to the Bulls, or maybe signed by the Bulls, and he went over to Jordan's house, and they started playing pool. And Holton kept beating Jordan at pool. And so Jordan kept going in the back room after every game and getting some memorabilia and handing it to him.
He said every time he beat him, he would get all pissy, but like that's
he
why
would hand him more stuff.
That's why I was thinking.
Holton was driving home, had beat him like 3 in a row, and he was trying to figure out why the hell was Jordan giving me all this stuff. And then it finally dawned on him that it was hush money.
He was trying to get him to shut his mouth.
Shut your ass up about beating me at pool. Well, Byron said that, Jordan only gives these. I mean, he's being cool. It's like, here, he said that's the only way you can get that ball marker is from the hands of Michael Jordan, which I thought was kind of cool.
I found on Golf Digest the 10 athletes with the best handicaps, and Jordan does make the list, but he is not number one. There are a couple guys that are plus golfers.
Plus,
yep.
Maddox or Smoltz and Maddox were really good.
So Smoltzy is a +1. Tony Romo's a +1.6.
Mark Mulder on there.
Mark Mulder is on there. Steph Curry is on here.
Yeah,
Jerry Rice is on here.
Someone the old pitcher, the Pirates pitcher. He would always win all those pro-ams.
He is not. I don't see.
Mark Mulder won a bunch of pro-ams. I don't know if he threw for the Pirates.
Yeah, Mark Mulder is a 0.5. Joe Pavelski, the great Joe Pavelski.
That's right. Yeah,
hockey player, the big Pavelski. He's a scratch golfer. Harry Kane is a 2. He's a soccer player. And then
Harry Kane's a 2, huh?
Yeah, Harry Kane's a 2.
That's impressive.
I think that's everyone that they have their top 10.
So the number 1 is Smoltz.
I think Smoltzy and Romo. Romo's a +1.6 and Smoltz is +1.5.
Tones roams.
Is
there anything that man can't do?
Well, he tried to qualify for the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
did make it, but according to this, that is the best. Those are the best. Well, of course, then Donald Trump. I mean, come on.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, 3-peat club champ.
Yeah, I mean, his own club championship 3 times in a row. Hello.
Was it Rick Rhoden? You remember Rick Rhoden? Yeah, the old Pirates
Rick
pitcher.
Rhoden.
He was awesome.
Did
great golf. Oh, and you know who else was really good is Mark Rippon. Good player.
I think he's fallen on hard times.
Great little player.
Great little player.
The quarterback, Mark Rippon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think have you seen what Mark Rippon's up to? It's not.
No, but I mean,
not good.
He was at that. I went to that American Century Championship where all those guys, the other athletes play, and he was in the field when I went in, 2015, 16.
Yeah, he's a good golfer.
Yeah, I think he's battling some stuff.
All right, Club 1080 is coming up next. Where all the aliens at? 6:03 on the Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in
Really enjoy the show.
All right.
Let's do it.
Is the baseball show tonight after us?
That's
I believe
correct.
It is. That's why Joe Fisher is hanging around. Oops, Skeens got out of it.
Yeah, we need to get Joe Fisher in here because I have made an observation about him that I would like to share with the public.
I'm sure we can manage that. You want me to see if he's around?
I guarantee he's around. He's probably
he'll
on,
come in here. He always lays
Yeah.
on the couch before they go on.
Yeah,
with
don't
their
disturb
baseball
me. He's
show.
probably on the phone.
God, that dude is on the phone more than anyone I have ever seen in my entire life. I'm not kidding.
It's a sales life, bro.
Well, but dude,
Rob's questioning whether
Wait a
these
minute.
are sales calls.
well, I don't know what calls they are, but he is on the phone constantly. Even for a salesperson, it's a lot. And look, I've been in this business a long time. I've seen a lot of salespeople around here. None of them are ever on the phone at the level that Joe Fisher is.
Is it possible that he's just really good at his job? And he's just working phones?
Oh, yes.
He's like Adam Schefter?
It is, but I think it's more likely that he continues to do it right in front of me, and I don't know why. Like when he takes a call, because his area where he sits is across the hall. We can't really see him from our studio.
Yeah, he was forced to move. He used to be right here.
For whatever reason, when he takes a call, he comes over here and parades in front of our window.
I think I have some insights here. So I used to do ad sales, not here, but before I got into production. And if you sit at a spot with other salespeople, sometimes it just feels weird to be doing your whole pitch and spiel in front of your coworkers.
I get that.
So I would get up and walk around and move somewhere else. Now he's doing it in front of you instead of his other sales coworkers, but I think it may just be that you don't want to be near your other salespeople.
Do you think Joe's throwing shade at you? He's like, he's big timing you? He's like, check
Watch
this
this,
out.
bitch.
Yeah.
Look, I
He's
get what you're
flexing on
saying, but why don't the other ones do that? Like, no, I've never seen some. Seriously,
I think it's personal style and preference.
We have worked with. How many salespeople would you say we've
over
worked
20 years?
I mean,
a
so
lot.
many salespeople. None of them talk on the phone half as much as Joe Fisher. And I'm serious, man. And these are good salespeople.
I love
Ryan Cooley doesn't even talk on the phone that much.
Ludwig's always got those AirPods in. I feel like he's always talking to somebody.
I absolutely love, because it's long been established that I have a Larry David-esque quality and that I can't let stuff go when I'm out and about. And I find myself in situations that I shouldn't be in. You have a Larry David thing about you where random things, seemingly for no reason, will get in your kitchen and they bug the hell out of you, and it fascinates me when it happens.
Well, I
you're
just want to know the answer.
Well, you're such a laid-back guy, but this was like earlier today, we were sitting here, Rob just looks at me and goes, again? It's like, what are you talking about? He's like, Joe Fisher is on the phone again.
It's literally his job to be on the phone.
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just puzzling how, I mean, it's really shocking how often he is on the telephone.
And now you need
And now
to,
I want to know, like, what
Yeah,
what
you need
is
to
that?
know why.
I need answers. I mean,
What is that? Closing that deal, Joe?
What is it, Joe? Well, I'm sure he'll provide you with an
Answer
answer.
me!
Although I'm not certain that the answer is going to you're going to like.
Well,
it.
he's going to say he's on sales calls, but
Yes.
I'm going to start listening to his calls.
Yeah, what you're basically
Because
saying
he
is
parades around here. Like, you're saying, Buckley, that he wants to get out, away from people talking on the phone. He walks around the office talking on the phone.
Yeah, but I feel like, I don't know. I walk around when I'm on the phone, and I'm not selling anything. I just do it. It feels like, I don't know. There's something about the energy about it that I think if you have a restless energy, you might do it.
Now, I'm never on the phone,
Well-
but if I were to be on the phone here, I would go outside.
Well, that's why I was wondering about you. Is it weird in that?
Yes.
Does it seem like a lot because
Yes.
you are never on the phone?
Yes, it does.
So there's a juxtaposition there where maybe it seems like he's on the phone so much, but in reality, it's just that you're never on the phone.
We're going to have to look at his call logs.
Although I'm in here with you, and I never take a call.
Yeah, no, there are very few reasons to talk on the phone, okay? It better be a damn emergency. But I want to see his phone. I hope he opens up his phone and I want to see his call log. And okay, here's
I
a
like
fun
that Rob
game.
is demanding to see.
I want the receipts.
I
Where's
wanna
the birth
see,
certificate?
Joe. Let's see.
Look, he doesn't have to show it, but if he did, or maybe he can count them up on his own. What do you think is the over-under, or what should we set the over-under at for number of calls that he has placed, or fielded today.
Right. That's fascinating
Because I have seen him on the phone no less than 10 times today.
Well, it is weird because on any given day, just randomly throughout the week, I bet you I average 0.6 phone calls a day.
Come on, look and
Like,
see when the last actual real phone call I had.
Exactly. Like it just doesn't happen. Now,
just last night I talked to Mark Hamilton from 94.7. Weird, he called me.
That was your one,
And I was
huh?
like, what does he want? Like, that's one of those where it's like when he's calling, you're like, well, wait, I got to answer this. This is unusual. So I talked to him for 20 minutes.
Well, this is why I'm saying. So today, I talked to a buddy of mine for about 3 minutes, and I called a chiropractor to set an appointment. So there's 2, but yesterday, 0. That's why I said it. I think if you average it out, I don't know if I'm getting a call a day, but I maybe over the course of a week, 1 call a day.
So today is what, June 11th?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going back to June 1st, May 31st, okay?
Mhm.
I'm looking at my call log, and I have had 4 significant phone calls. Like where it's like, okay,
Sure.
we need to talk.
We
about
need
it.
to talk.
4
Yeah.
in 11 days. So what am I at?
You're well below 1. I'll tell you that right now. You're averaging.
And that's actually, I think that's a lot for me.
Is it?
Yeah, because I talked.
You're averaging like 0.4 calls a day, my man.
That's a lot.
That's not.
It is for me.
You may be abnormally low.
Oh yeah, I don't want to.
I mean, that's my favorite is that when you call Rob, you won't get an answer, but like
You get the immediate text
you
after
get like
it goes
a text
through.
right back, and that's just kind of how it works. He's like,
I
yeah,
do that.
I'm not going to answer this.
I play
but
that game.
Yeah, I'm not answering
I
that.
will respond with a text message to let you know that I got
Yes.
it. And
Well,
now
you
we'll move
have.
on.
If you call me, you have to. I'm not going to answer it probably, unless I'm really intrigued.
Or unless you know what the reason behind it is. We're coordinating
Yeah.
something. I have the same thing. I do not want to get trapped in a conversation that's longer than it needs to be. So I will. There are plenty of people in my life who I love very much and I know very well. I would just let it go through and be like, hey, what's up? Afterwards on text.
That or you need to inform me that it's important.
Yeah, what is it that's going on? Is it worth 5 minutes of my time?
So what
today?
you're saying is if I need to get you on the horn, I need to text you first and say, Rob,
Yeah.
I'm going to call you. This is really important.
Although, how often do you call Rob? Maybe if it's you calling, it's so rare that he goes, "Ooh, I better pick up."
Suk and I, we have a lot of business together.
Well, right.
Okay?
Well, what I'm
But-
saying is, you would probably pick up if he called because he never calls, right?
No. Hell no. This is what I'm saying. Suk and I we do a lot of there's a lot of things we need to communicate about. We never talk on the phone.
Ever.
Everything we do is through text.
Right. So
or
if
in
he
person.
called though, you'd pick up.
No,
'cause you'd
he
be like,
would
What's
not.
this?
He would
No.
not.
Because it's different than
No.
anything else, right?
Buckley,
I'd be like, dude,
that is foolishness.
I'd be like, Suk wants something. I'm out.
I will tell you right now.
Oh,
that
you think he's gonna try to pull one over on you? He's gonna sweet talk you into something you don't want to do.
I could be lying in a ditch, and just like I am dying, and I would look at my phone. And if Rob was the first number that pulled up, and it was my last bit of energy, I'd be like, it's not worth it. Like it's a wasted phone call.
Well, if you said, "Hey, emergency, answer,"
sure,
then I'm in.
Yes.
Like this guy says, if you don't text, can you talk? You should be jailed. This is not a hill that I'm willing to die on. I get that everybody handles their phone a little bit differently, but I do think it's really good practice to pre-text a phone call. I think that's good.
Yes. Phone call.
Hey, are you around?
That is a Larry David bit.
Can you talk? Is it?
I'm pretty sure that it was at one point in time.
Did he say that?
I think it was like you need the warning shot
Yes,
kind of a
I
deal.
love
Otherwise, you wouldn't know. And
I'm in it. I'm in on that. That's great. Look, I need to talk to you. Call me when you can. That's a great one because then if you're in the middle of something, you can text back and say, "Well, I'm not free until," or whatever, you know.
It's funny in that I've got. So the spouse, she won't call you either.
If she does, I know that it's like that one I'm picking up.
Really?
And she never. I mean, it's rare, but she
Interesting, because the BTJ calls me and there's nothing, whatever. It's just a random thing.
Hey, you want to go to drinks with the people from New Seasons?
that I just met. That are Korean.
I still can't believe that you, in some ways, are siding with her on that.
Well,
You
I'm
of
not
all
siding with
people,
her.
it's
No, no.
so egregious.
No, my big thing is if this was from earlier in the program, we are juggling a lot of balls.
There's a lot of things happening right now.
My big thing is that you cannot, as a spouse, volunteer your spouse for something without talking to them first.
Agreed on that.
Especially when you know
You can't do that.
that your spouse will hate it, and she knows that I will hate it. And by the way,
And she did not.
no, this has
She
been.
didn't do that.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Yeah,
And by the
I
way,
don't-
I have new evidence come to light about this situation. She knew how angry I would be, and she did it anyways. I've seen text messages now.
Well, maybe it's a cry for help.
It's possible. But I've got a couple buddies of mine. In fact, my friend that called me today. I have at least 2 friends that will call me for no other reason than just to chat. And we usually chat and we chat for, I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 5 minutes. And I know when those phone calls happen, there's nothing to them. They're just they're chats.
Here's the thing. I also have people that's their bit. That's their mojo. And I know that. So when they call, I have no problem declining that call.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I know all they want to do is check in. I'll check in when I'm ready.
You can at least take inventory of whether you want to have that chat or not right now.
Like, see, the worst ones are, oh, my God, should I answer this? Is this important? I don't know. There are some people that just call to check in, and I think that's great. Yeah. And I'm willing to do that. Maybe not right at this
But
second.
you look at their call and go, nah.
Yeah, not right now. Or I'm at a bad mood. I don't want to talk to that.
Interesting.
You know, so that guy, that's an easy one because those people usually are not offended. They're just like, hey, I want to catch up when you can. Give me a shout.
It's funny because I answer the chatters. I know who my chatters are, and I will. Like today, I was at the gym, and my buddy called me, and I knew that was merely a chat call. But it's like I answer it because it's like.
Did you go outside, or are you a chat in the gym guy?
Well, I'll chat in the gym while I'm doing something, but I try to keep it down. And I know that chat's only going to last, a couple of minutes, and then be like, oh, it's all right, man. I'll call you later. But I do. I answer the chatters. I feel that knowing that they're a chatter, you should answer because they're calling specifically to chat.
Yeah, but no, you can do that at any time. You can chat at
Not
any
unless
time.
they're on Isaac's terms.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I control the situation.
I respect the chat. I do.
I do too.
I
but
don't think
again,
you do.
It's about.
I don't think you respect the chat.
It's about the timing of the chat.
But that's not respecting the chat. That's the chat on your terms
love
and
the chat.
only your terms.
I'm in on the chat.
When you initiate it.
I would much rather have a drink
You're a selfish chatter.
in chat.
You are.
On the phone, I am.
You're a selfish chatter.
Yeah, on the phone, I am.
You are a great chatter over a whiskey, though.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I want to talk to you, but I also see that's part of the reason the phone is stupid, is you can't hash a whole hell of a lot out in the 5 minutes that they want to chat. You can get the basics, but I don't want the basics. I'm a deep guy.
You are a deep guy.
I want to sit there and let's get into this. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. It's funny that you are, if I'm power ranking, you are dead last, or at least in the bottom 3 of phone chatters, but you are definitely high in my, like, if you ever want to sit down and hash something out
let's talk.
over a beverage,
I love to
you're
talk.
fantastic.
Big talker,
Yeah.
but not over
on the
stupid
phone.
stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
What do you mean? What am I doing? This reminds me, we got to take a break, but when we come back, I want to tell you about, one, we have to set the over-under on Joe Fisher's phone calls today, which I'm going to go 10.
Boy, that's a lot.
And I bet it's over.
That is a lot of calls. I'm taking the under. That is a lot.
Outgoing and incoming?
Yes.
Only work-related or total?
Total.
That's a
I
lot.
only-
Over.
Really?
Yeah, I think
10 in a
yeah,
day?
because Buckley sees him too.
Well, it's part of his job. 2, it seems like it's part of his habit and pattern.
Yeah,
So
my back's turned to him, so I don't see it.
Well, Isaac already said he's seen him 10
Yeah,
times
I-
today. So I'm
at
taking the
least.
over.
It's a lot of calls.
Probably 30.
Think about the time before you were even here.
A lot of calls.
This reminds me of a story from my trip to Salina that I have to tell you about. A very short.
Oh, and All-American City.
The All-American City of Salina, Kansas, hosted a hot who was in town for court.
Ooh.
And I heard everything.
Oh, wow. Let's go.
This is the Club on the Fan.
The home of dirt and The Fan.
Double sun power!
Yeah, so we're still, Fisher's here.
Is he on the phone currently?
He's talking. Can't tell if he's on the
there
phone
he
or
is
not.
right there. Get in here.
On the phone?
Come here.
Not on the phone.
He's not on the phone. He was drinking out of his water bottle. Can you hop on real quick? We've been talking about you.
A lot.
Have your ears been ringing? Okay, good. Do you have your phone on you?
Which mic? Which mic are we on here? Nope, that one. There you go.
Hello, hello.
That one?
I can't hear him.
Hello? Hello?
There we go.
Hey, there we go.
Do you have your, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Fisher.
Hello.
Of Hot Corner coming right after us.
No, my ears have not been ringing. I've been talking to Scott Roddy out there.
Okay, your phone's on you. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you please check your call log, or at least hand me the phone and let me check your call log for how many times you have spoken on the phone today?
Oh.
We need a count. Just today.
Spoken or made phone calls?
Both.
Outgoing and incoming.
Outgoing and we need
this
the
is
number
a
of the
bet.
call.
We have an over-under.
All right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 going Mike Francesca here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, he's right on!
It's on the number?
Dude!
It's a push?
I nailed it.
Are you questioning
it's a
my
damn push?
Are you questioning my sales integrity here?
No, not at all.
No, dude, listen. Here's what I said.
How dare you?
I'll tell you exactly what I said.
I'm working my ass off back there in the pit, okay?
Look, Joe, we get it. But
Joe's very sensitive right now.
as you well know, look at my face. I have a white beard. I've been in
Yes.
this business a long time. I've worked with a lot of salespeople. I have never seen anyone talk on the phone as much as you.
Oh, I guess that's a good thing.
And I guess
Not
that's-
according to Rob.
Well, no, that's fine. I just wanted the answers like, who the hell are you talking to? And why is it so often?
Well,
and what's wrong with you?
You triggered him today. He kept seeing you on the phone, and for whatever reason.
Because every time you talk on the phone, you come over here and you walk right in front of our window.
I am one of those. Well, one, I don't like making my sales calls around people.
That
It's
was
like,
that was the Buckley
yeah,
theory.
it's like get me the hell away from other
Right.
people.
You're
in
a walk and
room.
talk guy.
And
but you walk and talk around us.
Well, and I have read things that walking and like talking on the phone and like being active helps make it more conversational. It makes phone calls go better.
Do you read sales manuals like Power of Success?
I see some. I don't
think he
read.
does.
I don't read books or manuals. No, I have what is it? The sales subreddit. Like on Reddit, there's like little sales things. So I'll catch some things here and there.
Oh.
But
the walk and talk. All right.
But no, you saw me earlier. I was just talking to another soccer
Every
dad.
time I see you, you're on the phone.
I was talking to a soccer dad earlier, getting my son locked in for travel team.
Well,
that's what
cool.
that was earlier.
That's
Oh
cool.
my God.
I mean, I assumed it was all sales stuff,
You
but
poor son of a bitch.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not looking forward to Saturdays at Delta Park.
Can we-
stepping over needles?
can we go to yesterday's call log?
Yesterday's call
Is
log?
10 about average?
Today was a light day. A lot of emails today.
Today was light.
Light.
It was a lot of emails today. Yesterday, oh boy. Oh, we're scrolling.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, well, that was Patrick. That doesn't count.
That counts.
No, it counts.
It counts.
19, 20, 21, 22.
Because you weren't texting Patrick. You were calling
Oh
him.
my God.
23, 24, 25, 26.
Dude.
27, 28, 29,
You
30.
are kidding me.
31.
You
32.
talked on the phone.
31.
I did
31 times
I did not
yesterday.
talk on the phone. I made 31 to 32 phone calls.
What percentage
Right.
business versus pleasure?
That was majority business. And yesterday was a big phone call day. Yesterday was the phone calls. Today was the emails. You got to go back and forth on
But
it.
dude, 40 calls in 2 days?
Trying to make
You're
things happen.
averaging 20 a day.
Trying to make things happen. What do
That
you want
is
from me?
Stunning to me.
Do you guys have a number of like cold calls you're supposed to hit?
There is a number of, yes. Sales manager Cooley has a minimum of outreaches per week that we have to
But
make.
don't you make
I
all
just
those?
scrolled back to you said 31, right?
Yeah, yesterday was
Ooh,
like
let's see who goes back
30,
further.
Well,
30,
you're
31,
gonna
something like that,
dominate
yeah.
this, but I went back on 31 calls. I go back to June 3rd.
31?
Wow.
31.
And I'm on Sunday.
I
and
gotta go- I gotta
made
go-
a good amount of calls on Sunday too, and that was a day off.
Yeah,
Most of them were to the lady friend though.
Yeah, I got to go back to June 3rd to get to 31 calls. 31 in a day.
Oh man, last Thursday's looking like a hefty one too. There was at least 30 on Thursday as well.
22.
I'm a mover and shaker, baby.
You
What do you want
are.
me to do? Come on.
Well, you are, and this is what I said in defense of you.
25th.
You go back to May.
May 25th, yeah.
I told you were going to beat me. It's like,
That's better than I thought, though.
and this is what I said. Like, Rob, Rupp is an abnormal non-chatter, non-caller, and you seem to be a bit aggressive. So you put those two things together, and the gap is quite a bit.
It's stunning to me, and I'm not being critical. I'm really not. It's stunning to me because I'm just the opposite of that, and it's just wild to think how much energy I would have to expend.
So 31 calls?
Talking on the phone 31 times.
May 17th.
Wow, Buckley wins.
I avoid the phone calls,
Now,
and
wait,
I go to the text or
Can
email.
Okay, so this hurts my feelings a little bit.
Buckley over the top.
Can I throw a caveat?
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a very busy week last
Oh,
week
you
with
did?
lots of
The
calls.
parents.
Yeah,
Here
you
come
were
the
arranging a lot of
excuses.
things. There were a lot of
I get it.
There was a lot of calls, so that's not a normal.
I was gonna say you're setting up the olds. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That is alarming to me. That because I did that same thing not too long ago.
Yeah, it's a lot of calls.
That's a lot of the fact that you only go back that far. Like, yeah, I'm guessing that on a what we need to do is have like a call off between you and Buckley going forward.
Well, what I think I need to find out next is how many missed calls I let go through to allow that to happen, because that didn't include the missed calls.
Man, I had a buddy in high school that he never answered his phone, so kind of same thing. And we were like, I want you to go through your call log right now. And it was like 90 out of the last 100 and something calls were missed calls where he just did not pick up.
I love that.
And just called him out right then and
That's
there.
my guy.
He's just swatting things down left or right.
I will say, though, that in the sales atmosphere, I've gotten to a point where I'm done with the whole send an email and then you sit and wait and you're twiddling your thumbs.
You just try to catch them.
You get answers. You get to the bottom of things a lot sooner.
You make them tell you no right on.
Yeah,
right to
and also it's like, I'm calling because of this. Who do I have to talk to? What's the situation here? And then they can tell me to F off right then and there versus waiting after 4
I will
emails
say,
in 2 weeks for that to happen.
That makes sense. You are a very what would be the adjective? You are very, and I respect this because I'm a bit like this too when I need something. You're a snappy, you're like, let's go.
It's gotten to that point.
You don't
where,
let
again,
people
it's
put
just,
you off. That's what it is.
I am, again, the whole taking 30 minutes to send the email and then I send and I have to wait for days to see if I get a response. It's like, I'd rather just know
I hear
now.
you.
Like,
I hear
give
you.
me an answer.
And that brings up another subject. Does that bother you a little bit? I think that's bullshit that people do that. If you're trying to get a hold of me about something, maybe I don't have an answer or I can't get back to you right away, but I'm at least going to send a note, hey, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I hate the ghost. And then it's like, oh, a week later, they're like, oh, here's your... I hate that.
But the flip side of that, I think, is not many people are like you. They're not going to write that note back. They're just going to see that note and ignore it like you would ignore a call.
I know they are. And that does bother me a little bit. If I were in the business world, that would be, I'm sure that happens all the time.
I would rather take a kindly F off versus nothing at all.
Or just hey, stand by, I'll get back to you next week.
Yeah.
That's
or
what
whatever.
Well, and the same thing like in that's an epidemic like in the dating world. I never understood the idea of just not being able to tell someone.
Yeah, I've never done that.
See? People do it all the time.
Not being able to tell them you just want to break up? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm not, just you go out with someone one time or someone asks you out or whatever, and people nowadays refuse.
You ghost them.
They just ghost them, and
Why
I'm
don't
like,
you just tell them?
Exactly.
I don't really like the look of your face.
Yeah, there was a girl I was seeing a couple years ago, and she's like, yeah, I'm heading out of town. I was like, oh, perfect.
Perfect.
I was like, yeah, you're never going to hear from me again.
Is it? And I never understood why it's so hard to just simply say,
Merry Christmas.
Exactly.
From the guy who talks on the phone 31 times a day. He doesn't even have he can't even call her up.
Well, now I do. I would break her off like a business deal. Like, listen, I just don't think our goals align on this transaction, and it was nice working with you, and no more.
Yeah, it's not that hard, and yet people
don't do it
all the time.
But in the business world, you business people out there, you could say better.
I've definitely gotten this a couple times where I just get the simple all caps stop or unsubscribe as if I'm just a robot.
Is that right?
Yes.
From women?
No, from like
no, from ad people.
Yes,
business people.
on Hinge.
Do they
or
really
Bumble,
say they just go stop?
I
They hit the all caps stop?
I literally got an email response back from someone I was reaching out to this week that said just unsubscribe.
What a power move.
And I was just like, cool.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie.
I actually got a response back after someone replied back to me and got me like an answer and said like, no, it's not the right timing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, touche, rebuttal. And then they just responded to me, stop, all capitals.
I do not have time for you.
As if it was a push text message.
At least they responded.
Yeah, I guess.
I'd take that over the ghost.
I guess that is somewhat of a response.
So you guys out there in the business world, text into the Vancouver Ford text line. By the way, somebody just texted, Joe, stop. All caps.
By the way, that's going to be my response now. Anytime Joe communicates with me, stop.
And I'll
Even if all caps.
I'll send back, you are now unsubscribed from Joe Fisher text messages.
I mean, look, I know that there's a lot of people that do all their business on email, so they have hundreds a day.
Yeah.
Is it really that hard to just send a note back to someone that you'll get back to them shortly, or I'm on it, or hey, not putting you off here, but got a few things to check, and then I'll, is it really that hard?
It shouldn't be, but I think for some people,
I think you should spend a week in sales.
Well, is it really that hard to pick up your phone when someone's calling? That's the equivalent.
Yeah.
Top spin law back in your end, Rob.
I mean, I see the virtue in both, but that it's the same sentiment and
here's
feeling.
the problem. No, I got to retort to that. The problem with that is, on the phone, you don't know how long that's going to take. Some people do not have the awareness.
See, this is on you.
Hold on. Some people do not have the awareness to just get down to brass tacks of what I need to talk about and then hang up. If it were easy, then I'd do it. But it's a crapshoot. Whereas email, you can bounce it back and forth easier and drag it out or get it done as quickly as you know what I mean? Like you can get it done as quickly as you need to.
I don't think it's that hard because I'll do this. People call me and if I'm doing something, and if it's one of my chatters, I will do one of two things. Either I will pick up the phone, and I think this is quite easy to do, to pick up the phone and be like, hey, let me give you a shout back in just a few. I'm blah, blah, blah. And almost 99% of the time, they're like, oh, yeah, no worries. Call me whenever. Or they'll be like, hey, real quick, because it's important. Or you can, like, every phone now, when the phone rings, you can just touch a button and it gives you
I'll call you back later.
Call you back in a minute. And that's another one that's easy if you're, and so I find that is easier because I can be forgetful. And if I don't get right back to the person, sometimes I forget, and then like a day or two goes by and I'm like, crap, I didn't get back.
Look, man, I would answer the phone if I knew that every phone call would be efficient. But it's not.
You got to set the expectation, man.
Well, emailing people back and forth isn't efficient either.
I'm sorry, what?
Emailing people back and forth is not efficient either.
And that's kind of what I get to.
Well, yeah, it is. You get to right down to like, there's no small talk. It's like, hey, I need this.
But that's for you, and it's on your time.
Yeah.
The business person wants that answer. That's why they're calling you.
Well, I'm the one saying I'm going to give the answer. F you, Buckley.
Give it to me now, all right?
I will give you an answer, even if I don't have one.
I have always been, even when I was a teenager and texting, I would send a text message and then call like right after and be like, listen, I don't know why I'm texting you and now I have to wait for a response for God knows how long. Just let's talk. 2 minutes is all I need.
Look, man.
Are you coming over and are we smoking a joint or whatever the case was back then? Whereas now it's, hey, can we get this business deal done? But again, I am well over the whole sitting and waiting via email. I'd rather just get someone on the phone. Let's get an answer now versus later.
It is all communication lines are about getting to the point.
Yes.
And the worst way to do that is talking on the phone because people will. So how's your?
The way that takes the longest though is waiting on email.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
Oh, you can answer an email faster than you can answer your phone and say no, thank you.
I like this.
No way.
I like this confrontation right now.
No,
Heat it up. Let's go.
Because you'll email them back when it's convenient for you, and that'll be a week.
That's not true. Are you listening to anything I am saying?
Yes. I can't tell you how many times.
There's no way you can email back faster
I answer
than a
back.
call.
I will get back to you instantly on text and email. Instantly.
I have also got
even if I don't have an answer.
Plenty of times it's, hey, this is Joe Fisher calling. I sent you an email the other day. Oh, I get tons of emails every day. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd have to go and find it.
Yeah, people do that one a lot.
I hate that.
That's another one I get a lot. Is that I get a lot of emails, and I'm like, all right, hence why I'm calling.
But if you're
Note
getting
to self, don't be in sales.
If you're getting a lot of emails, yeah, no kidding. If you're getting a lot of emails, isn't it also part of your job to be able to track them?
Yeah.
Like, that bothers me. That, like, the excuse of, I'm just really busy. Shut up. We're all
Everyone's
busy.
busy, yeah. It's
a great
I need you
excuse.
right now, you son of a bitch. What's the answer?
I need you, and I need your money immediately. Please.
And if it's a no, just tell me.
Yeah.
I'm really busy. Yeah, okay, so we all are.
Efficiency, I can get 5 to 10 calls in by the time I can finish writing the perfect email where they're still going to say no to it eventually. So,
What break are we on?
I think we're a break behind.
I was going to say probably over.
Here's Buck with SportsCenter.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. All right. Here's Buck with SportsCenter.
This is a U.S. Open Week edition of Primetime with Isaac and Sue.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club.
Now
you'd be a rambler. So you just got to learn to like.
Yes, I do.
You can cut
no
off.
offense, Chuck, but I think if Chuck called you, you'd be talking about a lot of different topics before you got to what you needed to.
I guess I just don't have a problem when I'm done with the phone. I got to be done. I got things to move on.
What do you mean?
Like when
that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point.
But that's my point. Is
Let's
like
get to it.
You have to set the expectation. If the phone call isn't going the way I need it to go, or I'm, like I have no problem answering a phone, talking for 45 seconds to a minute, and then being like, "Hey, I got a bolt, but hey, call me this time, whatever, blah blah blah." I do it all the time.
Yeah.
But people think that's rude, but I think it's ruder to not answer the phone because the person knows that you see the call. Most of us have our phone with us all the time.
Yeah, for sure. But that's why I think you should. I just think there's new etiquette. You got to send the pre-call text. That's the way to do it. Hey, you around?
Yeah.
Do you have a second?
Yeah, too many rules.
It's a virtual foot drag. That's all it is.
The answer is no, I don't.
I'm with you, Buck. I'm siding with Buck on this one.
No, Buck's an idiot.
Well, that's been established before.
We've learned now today two things trigger one Isaac Ropp. One, unnecessary phone calls. Two, loud mufflers.
Yeah, I need efficiency in my life. That's it.
Yeah, I understand.
So when I go to Salina, I stay at this hotel downtown. It's a nice hotel. It's got everything I need. It's got it's got a comfortable bed, nice rooms, and it's got a bar and restaurant attached to it, and it's got my Starbucks in the morning, and it's got good breakfast.
That's all you need, right?
Okay. And a good little outdoor lounging area.
That was nice.
So in there are a lot of travelers that come to town, like business guys.
I'll tell you what, hotel bars at places like that or airport bars are great because it's just
They can be.
Yeah, it's a parade of people and you never know who you're going to meet.
So I asked the bartenders at this bar, I'm always like, what percentage of these people are local versus travelers? Because it seems to me when I sit at the bar, because I'm usually solo, it's just a bunch of single guys who are in town on business.
Yeah.
And they always say, well, in the restaurant, it's mostly locals. At the bar, it's always travelers. It's right there. It's attached to the hotel.
Totally makes sense.
So I went in there one time last week, and I swear to God, this was like for lunch at the bar. And there's this super hot blonde sitting at the bar talking on the phone with a martini.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, that's really rude. Because she's talking out like everybody can hear what she's saying.
Yeah.
And it's not that busy. It's
She also
like,
doing the speakerphone thing, or
Yes.
just
Yes.
the worst.
No. I think she was on FaceTime. FaceTime.
Oh, okay,
And
but
no,
you're
she was-
having to hear both ends of the conversation.
No, not both ends. I'm sorry. She had earbuds in, but you could hear what
everything.
she was saying.
Sure.
And I was like, man, that's really rude. So I finish up and I go about my day, and I come back at night. She's still there,
huh?
And she's still talking on the phone.
Huh.
And I got wind from another traveler guy who's there, who I'd seen a few times.
Sure.
We were friendly.
Old bar buddies
Old
now.
bar buddy.
You need a topper, buddy?
He was working for some fiber optics company or something that was getting the All-American City up to speed on the
absolutely
on the lines and everything. And he said, dude, you aren't going to believe this. She is in town because she has a court hearing. She has 900 instances of violating a restraining order against this dude.
Oh,
900.
And she's been telling everyone about it because of the phone call. So,
Yes.
my God.
And she's telling, and by the way, she is wanting everyone to hear this. She's been talking about it for 5 hours.
Pulling a crazy, stupid love sort of thing.
Oh
How do
my-
I know this? You've been badgering everyone at the bar. That is fascinating.
Dude.
Yeah.
And she was hot.
Well, apparently crazy, though.
Insane.
900.
900. And she was that's why she was there in town for that court appearance. I don't know where she lived, but
you got a number?
hell, I want no part of that.
Might be interested. How hot are we talking?
You might be interested. Okay, we got to go. 6:53 on the Fan.
The end of the line for the Pac-12.
The 8th walk-off of the season.